a round token this time.
Oh, did you? Good job.
Patting myself on the back for finally figuring it out.
You want to be a square
it's
token?
It's still not showing on your in the icon for your player, I think.
With that, now I'm on the map. You see me now?
On the map, yes. That's actually, yeah. Very good.
Because I grew up in the ruins of Terdok.
And
Were you an elf? Is it an elf?
The half-elf.
Ah, yeah, indeed.
And we are going to be streaming, but I think you all know that, right?
No.
Stream away.
Yeah, man.
Stream away. All right.
If I ever figure out a way to sort of like blur out my background like others do, I would be cool streaming, but I have a bunch of pictures of my kids and family behind me, so...
Oh, no, it's completely optional. I don't mean you have to have a camera. I just mean like your voices will be streamed.
It is automatic in Discord. So when you press camera, there should be immediately an option to do this, like somewhere like a drop down or something.
Let me see if I can find it.
Or you can do it in user settings. If you go voice and video, I think there should be if you go in voice and video in the back in the settings, there's a blur.
I think our cameras are not. Hey, first time I see you, Sergey.
Oh no! Cover everything! Cover everything!
That's what I mean. It's not an automatic choice. You lied to me.
No, you have to put it. You have to put it as automatic.
I'm
You
back.
have to put it as automatic. It's weird. No, you have to go in the settings and put it.
I'll figure it out for next time, so I'm not diddling.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You don't have to figure it out now. I more just meant, like I said, for your voices.
Yep.
Also, we are not streaming our cameras, so our cameras is purely for us. So
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. No. The streaming is only the view of the Roll20 board. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
So yeah, you're fine. I was just making Kit's token. Or trying to. There we go. We got a token
Gonna be right
for
back.
Kit. Yeah.
out of cider already.
I thought you just got one. All right, so Kit, we got you in there. Kit Solace.
Can you make it into a token?
Did you say how do I do it?
Yeah. I got the pick.
Oh, well, you can just set it as your character's portrait, and I'll make it into a token for you. Sorry, Kit, did you have dark vision?
I don't think I do. I am just a human.
Okay, so then now you wouldn't. Just double checking, because you never know with humans these days. Everyone has those.
It's what they put in the water, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes even halflings have dark.
Seems
dark
like
vision,
yeah.
Right?
With what are they called? The new thing where you
Custom
can
lineage.
pick your yeah, exactly, custom lineage. Anyone can have dark vision now. So
Yeah.
all right, we got Kit done. Excellent.
So if we could do custom lineage, we would be able to choose a feat, but I didn't think you were up on that.
I mean, some people want to. If you talk to me about it, I'm usually more okay with it. But because yeah, I mean, I like the idea of custom lineage. It is nice to like just wanna. I would just want to be an elf, but I don't want to have to like min max like if I'm playing a certain class. So if you want to be an elf who's good at, I don't know, con, like for whatever reason, maybe your family has better con genes, better more healthy stock. You know.
Yeah, because I'm getting
genes.
like I have like a Loxodon Drow elf artificer in another game, and so I kind of find it fun to sort of throw together weird stuff together and kind of find a way to max it around.
Forful, I don't see your picture yet. Did you add it?
I know. Sorry, my thing crashed. I'm just reloading it, but I was about to do it. Sorry.
All right. That's okay. We can. I mean, yeah, we can probably just get started with the four of you. But we are kind of session zeroing. So does anyone have any questions, comments, anything else before we get going with the story?
I have a technical matter.
Yeah.
On my character sheet, under sort of like spells, where it would have my um, spell casting ability, it says none, and under my of course, now Roll20 is going slow. Why?
You just click on it and you can choose.
Yeah, you can set that manually if it didn't do it during the creation process.
It didn't do it during the creation. I couldn't figure out why. But all right, I'll just fix it.
Yeah, you can manually adjust things if it's not displaying right. Any other questions or comments? All right.
I'm gonna have to reload Roll20, but go ahead with the storyline.
Yeah, that's fine. So I think some of you saw what I had written in the chat. Others might not have. I was starting the story in the town of Highguard. Basically, there is a caravan trying to make its way from Highguard to Chaur. And for whatever reason, the caravan masters have brought in specialists and mercenaries to defend it, as well as greatly increasing the guard on the caravan. Though nothing was really said about why, you were just all offered gold to help out with this. And for one reason or another, your characters are heading to Chaur at the moment. As I kind of told everyone, like whatever that reason is up to you. But you had all taken the job. And it is the night before we leave. The other thing, make sure your chat is displaying as your character and not your account. So in the drop down under the chat where it says like as, make sure you set that to your character. Because it looks like a few of you are displaying as your account.
Freaking refreshing. Thank you, Roll20, for making it refreshing every 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's the other problem. Every time you refresh, it sets it back because it doesn't know how to default.
Good to go.
Yeah, it keeps happening on my end.
Yeah, so Roll20 is not being cooperative right now, so unfortunately it's making everyone's life more difficult.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. It's not your fault. Roll20 is being annoying.
One thing, since I added a small description, I just wanted to run a little bit because I talked about the background, but I just wanted to maybe read a little bit.
Oh, well, we're gonna get to character descriptions.
Okay, then good.
So it's nightfall. It is late in summer. 84th of summer, getting close to fall. There's a bit of a chill breeze on the air as you all sit around a fire in the courtyard of Highguard. There are two large gates to Highguard. The outer gate, which rises up about 20 or so feet with guards patrolling it, and the inner gate, which rises up about 30 feet, also with guards patrolling it. You are sort of in between these two gates in an area called the Outer Yards. Most of the caravan is here right now. Everyone has tents set up. There are a bunch of fires burning, and people are loading carriages as it gets later in the evening. As the group is kind of there sitting around the fire, a large man looking like probably he's in his maybe mid-30s walks up to the group. And he says, "Hail, friends. You must be the mercenaries that are to escort us to Chaur. My name is Shock. I was hoping to talk to you all a bit before the journey to get to know you all a little bit better and maybe get an idea of your capabilities in case we have to face battle." And he starts kind of looking around at the group. He looks to Copper and he says, "Friend, I had heard that there were men walking around in Highguard that looked of statues, though I didn't realize they were the ones who would be accompanying us. Tell me a bit about yourself." And go ahead, give me a character description now.
Copper is an intelligent machine, warforged, standing at 6 feet, so not too high. His frame is unsurprisingly made of copper with some ebony inlays and covered with hardwood panels. He also has some armor intertwined into his frame, so he has a little bit more protection that you would usually see on a machine like that. Copper is calm, calculating, and logical. His passion is humanoid anthropology, observing humanoid society and studying their behavior. Copper spends days adventuring and nights not sleeping but working on his book, Humanoids of Gaian, Their Habits and Social Rituals. And then Copper will say, "Nice to meet you." To be precise, on a scale from 1 to 10, it is about 7. So very good sign. Yes, there have been some like me, but not much. Our kind is quite rare.
He nods. He says, I've never even heard of your kind before. I don't see any weapons. What exactly is it that you will bring to the fight, if there is one?
I do possess magical powers.
Oh,
I
a caster.
I have been in a possession of a powerful mage, and I have learned a lot, and I possess internal magical power that I can unleash on my foes.
I see. So
I am also quite sturdy as all of my kind, and I gesture towards Bjorn.
he nods and says, I don't suppose you're. I don't suppose you have your license and you're all squared away with the Phoenix Guild. There's an
Yeah, I've heard about
uncomfortable.
that.
There's an
I
uncomfortable
did.
silence. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
did hear about that. I did hear about that. Unfortunately, I'm
Ah,
awakened quite
he,
recently and haven't
he
gotten
he
any.
laughs at you as you get a little bit nervous. He says, "I don't give a fuck about them. Don't worry. You can cast magic in front of me. If you do cast magic, I'd be careful who else you cast it in front of, especially while we're in high guard. Once we're in Chaur, no one out there gives a fuck. Those
I would be happy to follow any laws that you have and register myself in any way you have to in your society. If this is your tradition, I would be happy to follow that.
as well. Honestly, I don't know much about any of that. No one out in Char. I mean, it's the Borderlands. No one out there is going to report you, and if they do, it would take a week just for the note to get to the group. So I wouldn't worry too much. But it's good to know you can do that, and I look forward to your magics to helping us in the fight to come. He turns to Jorn and he says, You're his friend, I assume. I've heard story of you around the city as well. So go ahead and describe yourself, Jorn.
So it's a Jörn. Thank you very much. And it is a obviously Warforged robot standing at 6 feet tall. And currently, at the moment, I don't have the art for it yet. Is wearing just leather garb with a belt full of alchemy flasks and tools like gloves and shears to cut herbs. Jörn's favorite activity is looking around for any kind of plant or magical things that he can use for potions or poisons, as he's well versed with any kind of alchemy, poison, or healing potions as well. Uh, a fun fact: Jorn is convinced that he's human because he doesn't know what happened, and he will. If somebody asks him if he's a warforged, he will respond that either he doesn't understand what they're talking about. And what's the name? When Shock goes that he's heard about him, he goes, "Oh, you've heard about me. What is it? My alchemical prowess that's already well known in this small town?"
He looks at you funny and he says, Well, no, not exactly. I have heard that there are strange statue men walking about the city that no one knows much about where they came from. You have alchemical prowess, you say? What does that mean?
I am gonna take one of my. Well, you mean like in character or like
That's what Shock.
my character.
That's what Shock is saying.
Oh yeah. I pull out one of my files and I'll just say, have a look, and I will throw a cantrip I will cast a cantrip from the file and shoot it in the air. To be fair, I only have firebolt, but yeah,
Right,
shoot
so
a firebolt from the vial.
You're just kind of firing a firebolt up in the air.
Yep.
All right, so you chant as a bolt of flame just fires up into the sky, and a bunch of people are looking around now towards the group. Shock looks around and he says, "Didn't you just hear what I said to your friend? I said don't cast magic in the town." He says, "You could have just said you're a magic user." And he looks around nervously. One of the guards is walking towards the group, and he says, "Oh, fuck." He smiles as the guard approaches, and the guard says, "Is everything all right here?" And Shock says, "Oh, yes, my apologies. There's my friend here is an alchemist, and he was showing us some chemical reactions." And the guard looks at him, sort of looks at Yorn, says, "All right, well, just be careful. They're tightly grouped people, and if a fire starts, we could have the whole wall burning down. No one wants that." Shock says, "Oh, yes, of course. My apologies." And he looks at Yorn again. He says, "Do you have a license, at least, if you're doing this?"
In this town, I don't think so.
He says, "Well, don't... You're going to get us all arrested." He says, "Don't just do magic. You should..." Anyway, so I'm guessing that you're...
Yorn, why don't we have a license?
I don't know. We should. Why don't we?
Yeah, we probably.
How expensive is it? I kind of need the money. I'm gonna ask Shock. How much is a license?
I don't know how much a license is. I'm not a fucking bureaucrat. I don't... Just ask one of the... Look, we're going to Chaur. It shouldn't be an issue. Just don't throw fire around until we get there, all right?
All right. No potions. Got it.
He says, "Well, just nothing flashy. If you're going to do magic, don't make it obvious." Anyway, he looks over at Win, and he says, "And what about you, my good elf friend? Where are you from?"
Well, I stand up and say, "My name is Win, and I am very honored to meet you and appreciate you allowing me to come along with your caravan." And he's looking at a 6'2", 210-pound individual that has like grayish green skin, bright turquoise eyes, grayish whitish hair pulled back, has a goatee. He has some interesting sort of tattoos and a pattern on his face. He's wearing a bright green robe, sort of locked to the front as a locket there of blue turquoise. He's got chain mail, rather finely made chain mail. Has a sword sort of sitting by a shield laying by his feet. And on his belt, he has a very broad, long sword and a hand crossbow and some bolts. And he says that he's from the area of Tardek to the north, that he had come to this area. "I've come to Highgard. I had to deliver some things on behalf of my church and my family. But I got into I was invited by some of the friendly folk here to partake in a game of chance. And, well, luck was not with me, and I lost the rest of the funds that was given to me. Swindled, I think. But I have no way really to get home. And so when I heard about the opportunity to take on this task, I jumped at it. And you will see that my abilities are twofold. One is I am quite adept with this sword. And I am blessed with the ability to sometimes heal others of their own injuries."
Says, a battle cleric. You'll definitely be liked by the men.
And then I asked him if I could see his own sword real quick. If he has a weapon on him. Does he have a weapon on him?
So you look at Shock. Do you have any visible? Sorry, you said what type of weapon was visible?
I have a long sword on my hilt.
And you wearing any armors or have any like a shield on your back or anything?
I have a shield by my feet,
Okay.
and I have chainmail on.
All right. So if you ask Shock about his sword, he says, "Huh? Oh." He pulls a sword from his sheath, which looks like it is pretty high quality. Do you have history?
I
Trained,
think so,
I mean?
but my roll 20 is just totally frozen. All I have is a reappearing and disappearing roll 20 dice.
So you might want to try to reload, but I
Yeah.
can check your sheet.
Yeah.
You do not have history. Okay. So the sword looks finely crafted. It looks a little bit strange to you, but you can't put your finger on what its origins might be. You do notice, what's your perception? Perception is 5. Okay. So you do notice that there are strange symbols that seem to be etched into the hilt of the sword. It's not very obvious, but you do catch that as he pulls it out. So yeah, he'd pull out the sword and kind of show it to you for a moment and say, fought in the war for a few years, a memento from one of our bigger battles. I was given this as a prize for the victory my unit won. And he kind of flashes it for a moment, does a little flourish and puts it away. You would also notice there is a shield on his back. So after that, or sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask him if I may just simply hold his weapon for a moment.
Give me a persuasion check. He gives you a bit of a look when you ask him to take his weapon.
And I say it in the most admirable and kind way.
He says, I'm sorry, friend, but I don't really know you that well. Maybe another time.
Fair enough. Another day, perhaps.
So he would then kind of turn around or turn towards Kit and say, and what about you? What are you bringing to the battle?
I'm a wizard, and I hand over my license that I have registered.
He kind of laughs. He says, see, this guy, he's ready. He kind of puts his hand up. He says, I don't need to see it, friend. I trust you. But a wizard? What sort of wizard exactly?
Mainly illusions. Helped with the carrying of secret letters. Me and my father provided a discreet delivery service in our town.
Oh.
And that's what we trained.
He says, illusion magic. I'm not too familiar with that. It'll be interesting to see what you can do in a battle. So what does your character look like to the group?
Yes. So he's about 5'10".
Mm-hmm.
Dark hair. He's wearing a blue robes, and he's carrying. His bag is what was formerly a postage mail bag.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he's carrying his stuff in.
Any obvious armors or staves or any type of implements?
He carries a dagger on his belt, but he also has an arcane focus, which is a dark-ish orb.
Darkish orb? Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Cut out a little there.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. It's not your fault. So he would nod and he say illusion magic. Interesting. As I said, I'd be interesting to see what that looks like.
I do also mention to the two Warforged, I can help you out with the application for your licenses if you do want them.
Oh, well, there you go.
I would be delighted. I like to participate in human rituals. Thank you very much.
So sorry, I'm trying to display your character for everyone. Roll 20 is being annoying. Did that?
You're human, Charlie?
Did that work?
Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
Are you a human?
Yes, I am a human.
Okay.
So he would nod again and turn to the large bull man now, the proverbial elephant or bull in the room in this case. Looking up at you, he says, "Well, you're a big fellow. I've heard a bit about you around town as well. What are you bringing besides that huge bulking muscle or muscles?"
While everyone was talking, I just wrote license on a piece of paper. I just handed to him, so I have a license too.
He looks at you. He says, "You're a magic user?"
No, I just wanted to be part of the group, honestly.
He says, "Well, as last I checked, friend, you don't need a license to carry a big weapon. So what would you look like, Forful?"
Anyway, sorry, yeah. So Forful's like 6'4", jacked, right? He's like, a minotaur. So he's huge, big horns. He's like from the circus, so he was kind of like a clown. So his face is kind of white still, just from having so much powder on his face for his whole life. And like he's got like little. No, he doesn't. It just doesn't come off at this point. It's kind of just there. And he's just he's like, yeah, I'm just here to join my new friends in adventure after a life of juggling.
Do you have any?
Do you look like you could have juggled anvils?
Yeah, whatever you need. If I pick it up, it can be tossed. No problem.
Do you have any obvious weapons or armor on you?
I don't know about armor right now, but I at least have like just a couple things, like a bow, like hand axe battle, just a couple, like just lined all over my back. I'm so big, I can just hold them, no problem.
So you just have a bunch of weapons strapped to you.
I love it.
Yep.
So Shock sort of looks over the weapons and says, "Can you use all of those?"
Well, I can juggle them.
Well, if a battle starts, I don't know if we're going to need you to be juggling them, but probably throwing them at the enemy would be more useful.
So Wynn stands up and goes, "I think the enemies, just by looking at him, will be afraid."
Shock
And
nods.
he makes this compliment way.
Yeah, he is. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's the preferred way of juggling is without conflict. So I will, but if need be, push come to shove, I'd do a little more than juggling.
Nods. He says, "Well, hopefully it won't come to that, but it's good to have you with us. Do you generally prefer to fight more from the front, or are you more of a bow person?" He kind of motions to the bow on your back.
It's just there for it's more of a front guy. I just slap the 7 hand weapons on my body.
He nods. He says, "Go ahead."
I was gonna say there's not actually 7, but I would just slap them all a couple times.
He nods and says, "One thing I could, if you don't mind, some advice from me. For those of us who are more frontline, I find the javelin comes in handy if one's looking to quickly engage and switch over to a melee weapon. I've had luck using that. But yes,
thank you.
Of course. Well, it's good to make all of your acquaintance. I'm glad to know a little bit more about who I might be fighting with or fighting alongside. I'm going to go and help some of the caravans get everything ready for tomorrow, but if you need anything, of course, just come and speak with me. I'll be around the yard. And if you're looking for a drink, I think heading into the second gate, you should see a tavern back there. So I don't know if any of you drink, but some of the guards are already enjoying their last night in the city if you wish to join them. He says, other than that, I will see you in the morning. He gives you a polite bow and would walk off.
Bye.
Alright, so what do you all want to do? It's pretty...
How about it?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, how about it, gents, before we get on the road? Would any of you care to join me in going over and getting a drink? And that's Wynn talking.
Yeah, I would love to.
I like.
Foreful is in.
I love observing your kind consuming beverages. This is very this is very entertaining.
What happens?
Let's get drunk.
So
I like this guy.
Yeah, I sort of look at him and go, "What is your name again? Is it Cooper? Copper?
Copper.
Copper."
It is very easy to remember. I'm made of copper, and the name is Copper.
Who named you that?
My master, and I never argue. I think this is a very suiting name.
Do you have any like brothers, sisters, like silver, gold kind of thing?
Interesting projection. No, having a name like that does not increase any chance of me having any familiars with the names of other precious metals.
Okay.
You don't have a gold sister?
What's her name?
Can I open the book with I'm sorry. I just wanted to know, did you actually want to know, or was this some kind of sarcasm together with the humor? I'm very interested in such behavior in humans.
One of those humor things us others do.
Oh, very, very interesting, and I start describing. Okay, humor.
I like this guy.
So, question. Does anyone have a passive perception of 15 or higher?
Nope.
I think that would be...
I do.
Who's
Win
that?
does.
Win?
Win has a passive perception of 15.
All right. So as you're all standing here having this conversation, Win, you sort of notice out of the corner of your eye a figure moving through the shadows. Looks like he's trying to keep himself hidden. He's about 30-ish feet away. You kind of catch a glimpse of him from one of the campfires, and you would notice him walk up to one of the caravans and slip a package to a guard, who quickly slips it into the carriage. He would then disappear into the shadows.
I sort of look over at my group and goes, "Check out over there. Seems as usual, there is always illicit material being snuck onto these caravans. Someone just came up and gave that guard over there a package, and he serendipitously sort of stuck it on the back of the caravan. Typical."
Should we go?
I kind of brushed it off as like no big deal because this kind of stuff happens all the time.
Sometimes. I don't know if Wynn has a lot of experience with the caravans of the Empire, but I mean, you would guess things probably get snuck on here and there. As I said, I don't know how much of a criminal background you have.
No, but he would have understanding that people come up and give the guards packages to sort of slip on caravans here and there. I think if he saw the guard have a negative reaction or argument of some sort, that may be different. But since it seemed to go so smoothly, no alarms would have rung off in his head.
Okay.
If what you're saying is true, I believe we need to inform Shock about it.
Sure. That seems very logical, I guess. Okay.
It does indeed. Thank you.
All right, so you're going to walk over and speak with Shock?
Yeah, at least I would definitely go. So I've just heard that something illegal has happened, and he looks to me like as the authority here. So he needs to be informed.
But feeling like he feels now sort of responsible for Copper walking off to go tell Shock, he feels a sense of responsibility to go along with him. Even though that wouldn't have been his natural reaction, he's seeing like, oh no, this robot thing is going to go off and tell Shock. I better go with him.
I'm gonna go towards the thing to see what it is that's been put in the caravan.
All right, so one of you is approaching the carriage. Copper is going towards Shock. What about Kite and Forful? What are you two doing?
I see
you're
going over
in the middle and.
Oh, sorry, Kite, go ahead. I'll let Kite go first.
I'm seeing Yorn go towards the guard, and I immediately go over behind him, trying to strike up conversation so he doesn't immediately get rumbled.
Trying to strike conversation with who?
The guard next to the carriage.
Oh, the one who took the package?
Yeah.
I see. What about Forful?
Is the guy who gave the package he gone?
Yeah, so he basically... Well, I mean, you didn't see this. Wynn said... Wynn basically mentioned someone slipped him a package, but you're not sure who.
Right, but I just figured we're looking over there. Is there like a sketch guy standing right next to the guard kind of thing? Or
so when you look over, all you would see is the guard at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, what... go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, I was just saying, and who's in Yorn? You're trying to kind of sneak right now and see what's in the caravan, right?
Oh no, I'm not sneaking.
Is that
I'm
correct?
just having a look at one. I'm not sneaking.
He's just walking over.
I am with my.
I'll help Kite.
I am not.
Go to the guard. I'll help. Sorry, I'll go to Kite and help and juggle in front of the guard with him.
All right, so Forful and Kite are walking over towards the guard. I'm going to do them first. So the three of you approach this guard. He sees the three of you coming towards the carriage. Looks a little bit nervous. Does a little whistle. And you see nearby there's a group of like 4 or 5 guards who kind of look up and just also start walking over towards the carriage. The guard would smile as you approach, and he says, "Hey, you must be the mercenaries. My name's Kyle. Good to meet you." And he puts out his hand to shake yours as you approach, Yorn.
Mine. The metal. Okay, yeah. I firmly grasp his hand and shake it vigorously. I'm like, "Nice to meet you, Kyle. I'm Yoon."
He smiles. He says, "How are you doing? You getting acquainted with the with Shock over there and everyone okay?"
I mean, everything seems fine, but one of our friends saw something suspicious going on in this cart.
He looks at you. Curiously, he says, "Suspicious." He looks at his 5 friends who all kind of look at you all now and say, "What do you mean suspicious?"
Is the person who was it that saw? Was it Wynn?
Wynn is not with you. He's going over to Shock right
gone.
Now. Yeah, you have Kite and Forful with you at the moment.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Wynn that saw the guy go in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the guy sneaking in. Okay, I'm just gonna say our friend. Is went to talk to Shock. Told us he saw someone sneak something into the caravan.
Says sneak, huh? Well, I mean, we've been loading the carriages, getting ready for tomorrow. I don't know about sneak. What are your insights, Kite, Forful, and Copper? Your passive insights, or you can actually make an active insight check.
I'm not there. I'm going to inform.
I'm the robot.
Together with
it's Yorn, not.
Or sorry, Kite, Forful, and Yorn. You can go ahead and make insight checks.
Okay.
14.
All right. So.
Why is there guidance? Oh no, I didn't want guidance on that. I don't know.
All right,
let me turn it off.
That's fine. So 18. So as he speaks, Yorn, you get the feeling that he is not telling you everything. But he keeps a smile on his face the whole time, and he would say, "I mean, we've just been getting ready for tomorrow. Everything's fine. Don't worry. Nothing illicit going on over here."
So you didn't see anybody walk in or anything, or anybody strange walking around this area?
He says, "Well, I've been keeping an eye on the carriages. You know, we have to be careful of hoodlums and thieves stealing. So I've been keeping an eye out, but the town guard have been very helpful, keeping most of the normal population away from here. So no, everything's been secure here. But it's good that you checked." He smiles.
I'm gonna shrug and be like, "All right," and I'm gonna, if you say so, and walk away.
All right. What about Kite and Forful? Are you doing anything, or are you just gonna walk away as well?
I will follow Yorn. Yeah, we got what we need.
Is it like an open top carriage?
It is a closed top carriage. Taking a quick look at it, you would see several crates piled up inside, as well as a bunch of sacks, probably filled with various supplies.
Like, can I see if anything was like put there quickly?
Give me a perception check.
Okay, I'll stay in front of the guards for now in case Kite's doing anything silly.
So 11. No, nothing looks out of order. If you take a quick look in the carriage, you don't see anything that looks like it was hastily placed.
Okay, then I'm gonna leave the cart, but can I'm gonna stand watch at some distance.
Okay, so you kind of keep an eye on it as you walk away. You would notice, and actually, Yorn, you'd kind of notice this as well. As you walk away, the guards are definitely now kind of keeping an eye on you. Him and the 5 friends that came over. But back to Copper real quick. So the 2 of you walk over to Shock, who is helping lift up a crate as you come over. He's putting it into the carriage. He turns around and wipes his brow a little. He says, Copper, it's good to see you. Everything okay?
Hello. We have met just a couple of minutes ago, so no need to greet me again. I wanted to inform you, as is written in section 1.6b of a document called like a legal document in your area, that I'm obliged to inform to avoid being complicit by silence, that there have been an attempt to position certain goods into your caravan which are not supposed to be there.
I'm sorry, Copper. I have no idea what you're talking about. Could you say that again? You said there's some goods positioned weird?
Someone tried to sneak something into your caravan without you knowing.
Oh? Sneak something in? That's weird. What exactly... Are you sure they weren't just loading up the carriage?
So I'll pop up at this time and say, Copper, that was very good. They're very good. So I actually saw it, sir, and what I saw was an individual, rather dark, sort of walk over to that cart, and I sort of point as best I can towards the carts. To that court, talk to the guard, hand the guard a package, some sort of parcel, which he then put on the wagon. Normally, I would not think of anything of it, but seeing as how we have agreed to help this caravan and sort of guard it and keep an eye on it, Copper here reminded me of such a responsibility, and so I decided that it would be best to come over and at least inform you of it. Whether it was illegal, illicit, just forgetful, someone forgot to put it on earlier, I don't know. It could be innocent as all can be. But the sense of responsibility was to come over here and tell you. And that is what I've done.
Says, well,
but I would evaluate chances of illegal activity here at about 60%.
I see. Well, tell you what, I'll look into that, make sure nothing odd is going on. But I appreciate you letting me know. Thank you.
Do you mind if we go take a look just for our own sense of responsibility?
Says, well, it looks like some of your friends are taking a look already, and he points, and you see 3 of your companions talking to the guard.
But that's the guard that may not be most receptive to them talking about it and asking about it.
Oh. If you want to talk to the guy, that's fine. Like I said, I'll look into it when I finish here, but I'm sure they were just loading up the carts.
Do you mind if I just name drop?
What, that I told you to come over?
Yes, that Shock said to come over here and take a look.
He says, "Yeah, sure. If you want to name drop, just don't rustle the guards too much. Everyone's trying to get things done and get ready for tomorrow."
No. If it's innocent, I'll buy him a drink. Actually,
says, "All right, do what you think is best." And he kind of goes back to lifting up crates. So you kind of walk over as your other group is leaving. You see Copper is kind of walking back to the campfire with Kite and Forful. I don't know if you want to say anything to them.
I would say we just talked to Shock, and Copper here is a very, very smart. Well, what are you? Are you a thing? Are you a creature? Are you a? Do I just say Copper is a very smart copper, and
Yep.
You can call me very smart construct.
very smart construct, and he helped remind me of my sense of responsibility. We talked to Shock, and Shock sort of empowered us to go over there, talk to the guard in more detail about what may have been placed on the wagon. It may be nothing, and maybe as innocent as can be. Um, if we want to look some more, I don't know if you found out anything, but we do sort of have the permission to sort of search about.
Yeah, we just came back from there. It was all good.
It's all
Guys
good.
are nice guys.
No, actually, they're definitely hiding something.
But is it a good hiding, or is it simply just a securing?
I don't know. They could be just smuggling, but if I believe if they know what's going on. But I think maybe they're just smuggling something, and if it's just making their business,
Yeah.
as long as it doesn't harm anybody.
That's how I feel. So we'll just let it lie at that then. Copper,
I'm good with just kind of letting it slide.
Problem is,
Copper, what do you think?
I am. The Copper here seems to have a very strong sense of. Well, what do you think, Copper? Are you okay that we follow the rules?
I have done my duties. I have informed the authorities. I don't have any reasons to proceed other than further.
Okay.
Shock said he'd check it out, right?
He did. He said he would check it out. I offered to check it out ahead of time, but he did offer to, or just say that he would check it out at some later point.
Yeah. Do you trust Shock?
We have been hired to defend the caravan from potential danger, and right now I don't see this posing any danger to our caravan.
It could be some kind of trap or device that would harm the caravan.
I think the probability of this is quite low. It is
actually
diminishingly low.
How far are we from the caravan at this point?
So the caravan is kind of spread out all over the place. There are a bunch of different carriages. You would count probably 15 or so total that are currently being loaded up in the yard. A bunch of campfires where the guards are sitting around talking. And of course, like I said, Shock is over helping load some of the carriages along with some of the merchants. But yeah, it's just spread out at the moment.
Alright. In that case, for now, I'll let it go.
Were you casting Silent Image, Kite?
I was just reading it and I clicked the wrong button.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Alright, so does the group still want to go get that drink, or do you want to look into this further? What do you all want to do?
Win is sort of I'm not too worried about it. We've told Shock. If the others are not as keen on following it up, and Copper's cool, I'm just going to sit down and or see where I can get a drink.
Okay. So you go and head for the bar. Is anyone else going to the bar, or are you just turning in for the evening?
We'll go to the bar as well.
All right. So anyone who wants can go to the tavern. You would head into the inner gate. There's some guards in there who would stop you for a moment, but you would just explain that you're with the caravan, and they would let you go in. The tavern seems pretty busy at the moment. You hear a loud singing coming from within, a bunch of yelling, and it sounds like a bunch of people just drinking and having general enjoyment from within. As you walk in, there's lots of smoke. Barmaids and waiters kind of run around bringing food and drink to people. It's pretty full in here, but you do notice a couple of booth seats kind of off in the corner. There's some guards there who would kind of notice you and wave to you, motioning for you to come sit down.
I would join them.
All right, so you go and speak with them. Do I have upbeat music for this?
Yeah, we'll go see him.
Yeah,
That's pretty upbeat.
Actually, I'll head over to the bar instead. I'll say, "Oh, guys, I'll get us some drinks."
All right, so is that Forful?
Yeah, Forkful's gonna head to the bartender, keeper, barman.
Yeah, so the bartender is kind of stressed, trying to get drinks handed out. He quickly looks over at you, does a double take as he sees this huge bull thing standing over everyone. Actually, quite a few people around you are stopping and looking up at you now. He pauses for a moment, just staring at you. Do you want to do anything?
Yeah, I want to say, "Good sir, hello. My friends and I would like some drinks, but I have an offer for you."
Drinks.
He seemed down.
Yes, drinks, of course. He shakes his head as if he just came out of some kind of shock, and he he just starts pouring some ales. He says, "Does ale work?"
Yes.
Excuse me. For me, if possible, something with the biggest amount of alcohol that you have. Please, if possible.
Are you there with Forful?
Well, I'm in the tavern.
So. Okay. So he says, "Yeah, will ales work for you?"
Yes.
All right. So he starts pouring a bunch of ales, and he says, "You said you had an offer for me?"
Yes, I would like to offer my performance services for some free drinks, if that's all right.
Give me a persuasion check.
Shit.
He says, no one wants to actually pay for their drinks. Everyone wants free drinks. He looks over at the bard, who's just doing a terrible job, and people are like throwing glasses at him every now and then.
Yeah.
Says, "Sure, tell that guy to get the hell off the stage, and if you want to do some performing, you can take these drinks to your friends."
Awesome. I say, who's with me? Sorry.
I think it's just you right now.
Oh. I bring the drinks over. So guys, I got some drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey!
I'll hand them out. And then I head over to the guy with the guitar. I just take it out of his hands.
Huh?
Where are you going?
Juggling it.
You're juggling his guitar?
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
a couple other things I find on the way.
Hey, hey! He's yelling as you grab his guitar and start juggling with it.
Say, get out of here. I'm like 6'4", right?
Yeah.
How big is this guy?
Give me an intimidation check with advantage. He's like, but my guitar!
Smell ya, bud.
Alright, he's like, and he just runs away. So go ahead and give me a performance check.
Win is cracking up at this whole scene.
Sorry, guys, what happened? Sorry.
Give me a performance check, because you said you were juggling?
Yeah, his guitar, a couple other things I find on the way, like whatever, you know?
So I'll let you use performance. You can either use, do you have performance trained?
Yeah.
Alright, so you can use performance with either dex, or I guess charisma, if you want to use your dexterity for juggling rather than your charisma.
So I think it says +3 right now. Does that mean it's my strength? No, it's my charisma, but it's just one. Sorry.
There you go.
Alright, so Forful is up there juggling these big just and a bunch of people in the bar are like, clapping. And this big freaking Minotaur just throwing stuff around.
On the back, under the legs.
A couple of people are raising their mugs. Huzzah to the big furry death creature.
Yes.
Meanwhile, at the table, as this is happening, the guards are looking a little bit terrified at this Minotaur throwing like chairs and guitars around, juggling them. They look at the group, those of you who came and sat down, and one of them says, "Name's Jim. Good to meet you all. You're the mercenaries, right?"
Yes, we are.
He says, "It's good to have you with us. I'm curious," and he's kind of yelling because it's loud. "Have any of you heard why they brought on so much security? Because they didn't tell us anything. This is our usual route, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on."
Oh, says Win. This is above the normal amount of security for these kinds of things?
Says, oh yeah, I mean, it is the frontier. We do have to worry about barbarians, but I mean, we don't usually have more than like 6 or 7 guards, and they brought in like 25 plus you all.
Interesting. 200% increase. This is very, very interesting.
The guy looks at you and he's like, "What are you?"
Copper. Nice to meet you.
Huh. He looks to the rest of you. He says, "But yeah, have any of you heard anything? Like, what's going on?"
Win looks to Yorn and wonders if he has any thoughts on this.
I mean, is there anything about? Do you know what's being carried?
He says, "We have a lot of supplies going over there. I know I haven't been to Chaur in a couple of seasons now because I've been on other caravan routes, but it seems like a pretty big shipment."
Who is this in the How high is he in the hierarchy of the? Yeah.
I mean, he just looks like a guard. You don't know how high he is.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be into it. It could be in whatever's going on. So I don't want to inform some of what's happening. So I'm just gonna be. Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe there's just something in there that's probably very valuable to some people.
He says, I have no idea. It's just weird because we don't usually have this much security for a run to Chaur.
Win jumps in and goes, so that is a huge... I'm new to sort of acting as an escort for helping out on these kinds of things. So they must be rather desperate because they were willing to hire me. But it does make me... There must be something very valuable either within the cart itself, or there's been some other... Have other caravans been raided recently?
He thinks. He says, I'm not sure, actually. I think a caravan was scheduled to go up before ours a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. I'm not sure. I haven't heard much about what happened to it, though. I assume it just got there and left.
Can I make an insight check to see whether this sort of feels right?
Well, you would do an insight to see if this guy is being deceptive, but...
I'm trying to figure out whether he was being deceptive, whether he was being... Actually, no, I won't do anything. So I say, is that all you've heard? There must be more detail to the story.
He says, honestly, I only arrived here yesterday. I just noted when I got here that there was a huge group of guards they had added on to the defense, and it's not usually this many. So I was hoping you all heard something.
No, I'm new to the area as well. What about you other guards?
They all...
And he looks to the guards at the table.
They would all just shrug and shake their heads. He says, nah, they're all with me. They're all with the caravan company, the group that came in from Pona. None of them know much about what's happening.
Well, then they're obviously expecting some sort of trouble. And Wynn is getting a little bit nervous as he starts thinking about this. They must be expecting some sort of trouble if they're hiring so many more people to help with this caravan. I guess we all should be ready for something to happen.
I wanted to point out my previous calculation, and if amount of security is proportional to the value of the cargo, it is at least 200% more valuable than it usually is.
What is he talking about?
My friend here, I'm learning, is a very, very detail-oriented and smart person on matters that you and I typically would not pay too much attention to. And what he is trying to say is that if you were to take the number of guards that normally go on a caravan and compare that number to the number that you say are now going on this one, well, if you were to divide it, you would come up with a number that would represent a 200% increase.
You see the guards going cross-eyed as you're talking.
I'm just gonna point with my thumb at like I'm gonna point at copper and be like, constructs, am I right? Can't understand them.
In any case, if you hear anything, I'd be curious to know. I'm just, as I said, a little bit nervous. And he would go back to drinking his ale.
I do ask him if he is stationed on any particular cart. And I do sort of say, we did see something that was a little interesting, and we told Shock about it. Was someone sort of in the darkness, a little bit, sneakily, although it's hard to tell exactly, whatever to one of the guards and, added a package here in the night. So if you are worried I would keep an eye on that cart, and I try to describe the cart as best as possible.
Jim kind of thinks. One of the guards says, I bet you that was Blackwater. He says, oh, yeah, probably. I can't think of anyone else in Chaur who would want something snuck in. Yeah, I mean, things sometimes get snuck onto carriages when they're trying to keep visibility on them low. But, yeah, I would guess it's probably just someone trying to bring something into town quietly, maybe something valuable. I've seen that happen before.
Who's Blackwater?
Galen Blackwater. He's I don't want to say one of the main lords of Chaur, but he is a pretty rich dude who lives in the border town. It's a big mansion, kind of keeps to himself. Why the Blackwaters would want a mansion in some out-of-the-way town like Chaur, I have no idea.
Maybe it's an old residence that has been there for a long time.
Shrugs.
Is he here now? Do you see, as I look around, is he here now?
Who, Blackwater? No, Blackwater is in Chaur. He rarely leaves. He's sort of a hermit, from what I hear.
So why would you think it was him then that would be here, handing off something?
Oh no, I don't think he's here. He says the other guard would say, I don't think he's here, but I bet he's the one who paid to have something snuck in.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
Yeah, he's the only one with money in Chaur, so that would be my guess.
Oh, that would make a lot of sense then. Yes, where I come from, people are the higher up, the lords are always, with their extra wealth, having extra little doodads and goodies brought into town.
He nods and says, exactly. Fucking nobility.
Yeah.
He's probably a good candidate for our next job when we are in Chaur.
Oh yeah, sure. If he needs something, the guy's got money, so he'd be the one who you'd look for. I mean, yeah, he. That's probably why we have the security. Jim says. He says, I bet you he's getting something valuable transported in and wants to make sure it gets there all right. That would make a lot of sense.
That would make a lot of sense because maybe only someone like, I know where I come from. Only the nobles would have the coin to be able to hire such a force for just a caravan.
The guy says, well, why wouldn't he just tell us then so we know what we're defending?
Well, it may not be our business to know exactly what it is, just that it is valuable to him.
Another guard says, or he's afraid we'll steal it. And they all kind of laugh.
Yeah. Yes, that is the part that I didn't want to say.
Says, but yeah. That's interesting, Jim says. Well, at least that might answer our question. Thanks for letting me know. And he raises a glass to you.
I raise my glass and say, hey, look, over there. Our friend is performing. Isn't he funny?
He says, yeah, a little scary, too. I've never seen anyone juggle that many chairs before.
I look over to Copper and I go, hey, Copper, look, I have something copper in my hand. I'm like, it's you. And then, give him a
realize wink, that he's juggling copper as well. All right.
I make a note of a humor in my notebook.
I'm like, do you like it, Copper? Do you like it?
6.
I did this for you.
On a scale from 1 to 10, it is 6. So above average. Thank you.
Hey, all right. So you would continue to chat and talk for a while, I assume.
Yeah.
Is there anything else specifically you want to RP or talk about, or should I just pass time ahead as you go into the evening?
No.
All right.
I'm all good.
I kind of wanted to wait till more of the guards went to sleep around the carriage.
Okay, so I'll pass some time till it's a bit later. I'll say you have some food, drink. Luckily, Forful did a good job, so the caravan guy is happy to give you all some, not too much free drink, but maybe like a free ale and maybe like a little leg of mutton or something. You would head back later as it gets later in the evening. Get back to your camp and kind of where your tents are set up around the fire. And it's pretty late now. I'll say it's after midnight. There's very little light other than the torches that some of the guards are walking around with. And all the caravans look like they are loaded up. What did you want to do, Kite?
I just wanted to see if those guards that came to stop us, are they asleep now?
So,
or are they still there?
You would notice... what's your perception? Passive. Passive perception is 10 plus your perception modifier.
I think it'll probably be 11.
11? So you take a look around the camp. It's kind of hard to see because of the darkness. You would see one guard standing guard at that carriage, but from this distance it's hard to see how many are around him, if there are others. But you definitely see one standing there at the back of the carriage. He looks a little bit sleepy.
Okay. Can I try and get closer?
Yeah, sure. So you kind of stand up. Are you just approaching him openly? Are you trying to sneak? What are you doing?
I'm trying to walk past the caravan to see if there's anyone else around.
Oh, okay. So trying to kind of just get closer, but make it just look like you're going for a walk or something.
Yeah. Or I'm guessing we're in. Yeah.
Give me a deception check, as you're just kind of trying to be casual, like walking by, acting as if nothing is going on. Oof. All right. So you're kind of taking a walk, trying to look and get a little bit of a feel for the area. The guard would take note of you. Unfortunately, he catches you staring at the caravan a few times, or at the carriage as you walk past. He doesn't take much note of it. He just kind of gives you a couple of nods as you walk by. You would see that there are a couple of troops sleeping nearby, but you don't see much else. At least not with an 11. Or give me a active perception check. Let's see if you can do better than 11, because you are actively trying to look. Oof. All right. So 4 would become your passive, which is 11, and you would just see the guards, one awake, and looks like 3 others sleeping nearby him. And as I said, the guard does take note of you and kind of gives you a nod as you walk past.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Yeah. I assume after that you're heading back to the camp.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get back to the camp. I don't know if anyone else is awake. It's pretty late, but anything else you want to do?
No, Wade is feeling that he has a good understanding of all that's sort of happening or going on, and is no longer sort of worried, told Shock what's happened, had a conversation with this group that sort of explained why the extra guards. He feels safe with that. He's ready to go to bed, actually.
All right. So unless anyone else wants to do anything, I'll just pass some time into the evening. Someone give me a D20 roll for events. Just anyone.
I will roll it. 8.
13. All right, so the night passes quietly. Something that I totally forgot. Who is willing to do scribe? Which is basically kind of keep a account of what happened during the game, and you do get an inspiration point for doing it.
I can do this. I will start.
All right, Copper. Thank you for doing that. Also, You do all start with an inspiration point. What an inspiration point is, I'm not sure. Do you all know how inspiration works in D&D? So basically in D&D, the rule for inspiration is either your character is considered inspired or not inspired. When you're inspired, you can use the inspiration to get advantage on a check. I do an alternate rule where you have inspiration points, and you can have up to 10 of them saved up. And basically, it's the same as inspiration, but you can use a point at any time to gain inspiration on a check. You just have to declare it before you make that check. So if you really want to accomplish something or really want to do good at something, you would say, like, I want to make, like, say, for if you were sneaking towards that caravan, or if you were trying to do better on your perception check to notice something, you'd say, like, I make an inspired perception check, or I make an inspired stealth check, and then you get advantage on the roll, and you'd spend an inspiration point.
Okay.
Alright, so I got Copper down as the scribe. Very good. Alright. So the night is passing, no issues. It is now the 85th of summer. It's 7:30 a.m. You all wake up. It is a nice chill morning. There's a cold breeze on the air. You see a bunch of the caravans getting ready to leave. Shock is getting all the carriages in order. You would note that he put the carriage with the weird package you saw delivered second to last in the caravan order. Caravan order, I should say. Sorry, order. He would come to the group and say, "Did y'all sleep well?"
Yes.
Yes. Like a baby.
This is excellent. Well, we'll be heading out probably within the hour. If you have any last-minute supplies you need to get, I think the market's open. So get those, and I'll see you before we leave the city. And he would walk off.
Is anyone going, or
does anyone want to make some last-minute purchases before you leave the town? Just FYI, the caravan is feeding you for this trip, so you don't have to have food. For future trips, you will probably have to eat, so something to keep in mind when you're on the road. But yeah, at least for this one, you're okay not having food.
So my armor is pretty weak. I'd like some more. But do I have like a general sense if I have enough? Like I have no clue. Like 15 gold. Is that even remotely like?
You can purchase anything in the marketplace of Highguard for book price. So if you want a better set of armor, it just depends on how much gold you have right now. And remember, you do have 5 extra gold added to your starting funds for doing this journey.
Usually I looked at it, so usually unless you have some armor which comes to you as a starting equipment, usually starting money is not enough to buy anything reasonable.
Okay. Yeah, then never mind.
Generally, it's better to take the starting equipment than the starting gold, because the starting equipment, for whatever reason, is a lot more. Yeah. So if you want, like, if you already took the starting gold, you can go back and say you took the starting equipment instead. But you just have to.
It's all good. I just wanted like a general sense if I was even. So it's all good.
Okay.
Usually, like half plate, for example, is like 750 gold. So
okay. Yeah. Then not even. Yeah. Never mind. It's all good.
Okay.
I actually do want to go and see if I can find. I ask around about where I might be able to buy some holy water.
I'll say you can find that in the marketplace for book price. We probably don't have enough time to do haggling because you're going to be leaving soon. But you can use book price to buy it, which I want to say is 25 gold.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, anything you all want to buy right now, just you can buy it for book price if you still want to buy any supplies.
You need money, bud? Who said that? Do you have enough money?
No, I only have like 15 on me.
So we get 5 though, I think, eh? We should have 20 now.
Isn't it 15 on my sheet? I'm not sure how that popped up that way.
Backgrounds also give you some gold.
Yeah.
Backgrounds
exactly.
is the only thing that gives you gold, actually.
Yeah, you get starting equipment. Well, there's starting funds when you make your character, so you can choose to either do starting funds and roll for it, or you choose starting equipment. But
just starting for why there's 15 in there, but I'm going to pass up for now and say that I'll have to figure out a way, because my character also lost his money like 2 days ago in a thing, so I'm going to pass on the holy water.
Okay, that's fair.
It fits better, yeah.
All right, so the group is heading out then, if no one's buying anything. And the caravan.
Good to go.
Yeah, the caravan starts its traveling. So you head out about an hour later after the caravan gets all assembled and is on the road. The first leg of the trip, this first day, is pretty quiet. You're still within the kind of protected area of High Guard, so you see farmlands all around, kind of mile marker signs and guards patrolling. Every now and then you see a bunch of people running out from the farms to the various caravan merchants and kind of doing some quick trades as the caravan rolls through. Getting some extra supplies. Does anyone want to do anything during this first day, or should I just pass it?
While not too much, but while we're traveling, I want to find like a moment to cast detect magic as a ritual.
Okay.
And just simply go around the caravan and take a look at anything that is there. Does anything like any crate?
Where are you when you cast detect magic? You just standing out in the open chanting?
I'm saying that like I during the day, like if we have whole day, I just find. Maybe I go into one of
like
carriages or something like that. Yes.
Right.
I don't want to be obvious.
Fair enough. So you go into the carriage. I think with your 15 perception, you'd probably hear strange chanting and noises coming from where he went. Do you have Arcana by any chance?
Who? Me?
Win.
Sorry, I do not have that. I'm more of a wise guy than I am a smart guy.
All right. So yeah, you hear some strange chanting. You have no idea what's going on. Though actually, Kite, you might know what he's doing, because I assume you have Arcana as a wizard?
Yes.
Alright, so you might hear some chanting coming from the caravan, and or from the carriage he went into, and know that he is doing some kind of Arcana, detect magic ritual.
Okay, can I cast message as a cantrip?
Yeah, sure.
And can I connect with Popper that's doing it?
Alright,
and ask him, has he found anything?
So while you're in the middle of your spell that you're casting, your ritual, you would get a message in your mind, which you recognize as coming from Kit, or is it Kite? Sorry.
It's Kite.
Kite, yeah, from Kite.
Yep. Have you found anything yet?
On it.
Alright, so you would finish... Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. No, that was it.
Alright, so you would finish casting Detect Magic and I guess pop out of the caravan. You'd probably see Kite standing nearby. And you said you're just going to walk around and look for magical signatures?
Basically to do some kind of inventory of stuff that we're carrying.
Gotcha.
To find like potential, because I imagine if someone attacks us and if there is something magical, they would like to steal that.
Yeah, fair enough. So you would notice first, as you're walking towards the back of the caravan, there's a bunch of guards back there. It looks like Shock put the majority of the guards in the front and the back. But the second from the last carriage, you would detect a magical signature coming from within.
Is it the one where the mysterious package was placed into?
Yes, it is.
Yes, that's pretty much... Okay, this is something that I was kind of expecting. Anything else that I was not expecting?
So you keep walking. You would detect a magic signature coming from Shock. Looks like his... Go ahead.
Doesn't it say what kind of magic, what school of magic?
Only if you can see the item and spend a round to concentrate on it. So if you can't directly see it, you can't tell.
Okay, fair enough.
But Shock would also have actually several magical signatures. His sword is giving off a magic signature, and something in his backpack. You see 2 more magical signatures in his backpack.
I would assume potions at this point.
But that's all you find coming from the caravan. Nothing else is magical.
I will tell it to the group. I will find a moment to tell to anyone and say that the second to last carriage contains magical signatures. So if we are attacked, this would be the most likely target.
Oh, that is very impressive, Copper. Thank you.
I was wondering if there's any way I or anyone who wants to help can like talk to some of the guards and kind of suss out if any like if half the group is sus or the other half isn't sus. Does that make sense?
That would probably require persuasion and insight, if anyone wants to try.
Like sus and not sus. Do you mean like if any are like traders or what?
Yeah, like if like the guys near the magic card are more like not talking to us, like being quiet, and then the other guys are all happy, then it's just like get a sense of who we're going with here. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think we'd be able to visualize whether there was any sort of difference in their demeanor, their dress, their weapon.
As I said, you could go talk to them. Persuasion would probably be a good way to get them to open up a little bit, and insight while talking, making insight checks would be a good way to see if they're hiding something.
Yeah.
You want me to do both, so...
Well, you guys can act as a group. If you all want to go talk to them, or if some of you want to go talk to them, that's up to you.
I was saying there was kind of like just during the trip, you're kind of just talking to everyone,
Sure. So I'll say up to 2 of you can make persuasion checks, any 2, and I'll take the higher of those 2 rolls. So figure out who's going to make the persuasion checks. Oh well, apparently Copper's on it. What's that?
Copper's a big talker.
Go ahead.
What's that +1, Copper?
Guidance.
Did someone cast guidance on you?
I can cast guidance.
So if you cast guidance, it will be very obvious you're casting a spell, and that might make things...
then I can just... then I would just remove it. So I just thought to have it just by default. So I would have it off by default, and I will just put it on in case I want it. Yeah, fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I just have it in the macro by default because I have it.
Yeah, that's fine. Is anyone else using persuasion to help him, or is it just Copper talking?
I could. I don't have a great one, but I can. I don't mind.
I'm just trying to reason and logic them into opening up.
I'll give one.
-1 charisma. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, right. Yeah, I tried giving one.
So, Copper, you kind of walk over with some of the group and you start talking to them. Is there a specific topic you're trying to speak with them about?
Just wanted to ask them where are they from, and I just want to open them up and. Just guys, tell me about yourself. Like, how did you end up here? Maybe I will open a book and try to write down something like where are you from? What is your region? What are like common sayings in your region? And I just try to open them up from like anthropological.
All right, so you're kind of asking them about themselves. They are kind of telling you about the different areas they come from. It seems like most of these guys are just mercenary guards hired in High Guard. There are a couple who are caravan regulars who patrol the different routes, and they kind of tell you about some of them, maybe their stories, things they've seen. Are you going to ask them about anything to do with to try to like suss out if anyone's suspicious, or are you just kind of generally chatting them up?
I think I want like after, and I think anyone who is listening, like after I try to open them up, we can use some insight to see is there anything suspicious about them.
All right, sure. So this would probably take a little while. Go ahead
and have a whole day.
Yeah, go ahead and up to 2 of you can make insight checks. Or actually, no, anyone who wants can make an insight check, because you're all kind of there listening.
Does not compute.
So yeah, 12, 16.
Yeah, here, I'll give one. Yeah, sorry.
6.
Okay.
Anyone else? 12. All right. So,
sorry, I got distracted by a message that came in for work.
No worries.
I would like to do an insight check.
Yeah, go for it. 12. So 15. All right. So you're talking to them for a few hours and getting an idea of kind of who everyone is, where they're from. You don't really get any sense that any of them are trying to be dishonest or steal. They all just seem like caravan guards to you. So you don't get much in the realm of like, is anyone in on something to steal from the caravan? Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, things look okay, at least on that front. Anything else you all want to do during the day?
I'm good.
All right.
Actually, there's something I wanted to check.
Yeah.
That's like during the day in general, like while we're moving and like everything when everybody's moving around. Does it seem like there is a lot of movement in particular caravans?
It seems like there's. Do you mean from the guards?
From guards or anyone. Like if I see somebody like going in a certain caravan a lot.
Sure. Give me a D20 roll.
D20.
All right.
Damn.
So you see, there's, like I said, in the first half of the day, a lot of people are coming up to trade with the caravan, but you don't see anything that's suspicious. The guards are mostly, as I said, in the front and back of the caravan, guarding, the two sides. You're all, Shock asked you all to be kind of in the middle. So you're all kind of, at least during the day, kind of in the middle of the carriages, keeping an eye on things. All right, so the day would pass pretty quietly. There's some celebration at night, some drinking. Looks like the guards are keeping an eye on as I said, the two sides. But I'm going to pass some more time, unless you all want to do anything during the evening.
Just chat and be merry.
Okay. Yeah, it seems at least at this route of the trip, not much is going on. The next day, as you're traveling, it's definitely getting less. You definitely realize you're getting farther from Highguard, as there are no more towns there are no more farms. There's just forest everywhere. You don't see any more guards patrolling. It's just open road. The road is kind of a little bit in disrepair. It's kind of cracked and things are much more quieter. But at the end of the second day, you would reach the stone bridge, and Shock would set up camp again. He would come to the group at this point and say, "We're almost to Chaur. We have another day left, but I suspect tomorrow is where we're going to encounter resistance, if there is any. So be cautious, because we are pretty far from Highguard at this point."
Noted.
No.
All right. So during the evening, as you're
I'll
all
be in front. I don't know if we're kind of like deciding that. Sorry, I'll be like in the front.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you're all sort of just sitting around the caravan carts right now. But during the evening, let's see. Win, as you're all sort of getting ready to sit down and sleep for the evening, you would notice with a 15 passive perception some movement on the other side of the bridge. You thought you saw something red slipping through the green grass, but you don't think anyone else noticed it.
Oh, hey, across the bridge there, I just saw something interesting. I don't know what it was, but there was something, a flash of red that went across the other side of the bridge. I don't know if it was a person or a creature of some sort, but just something I hadn't seen before.
Is this ahead? Is it to where we are heading right now with the caravan?
Yes, it's a out of character. Just to be clear, this is happening on the other side of the bridge, right?
Yeah, it's
towards which we're going.
It looked like something moving through the grass on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah. So yes, it's in the direction that we're going. I don't know what it was. It was just sort of like a flash of red amongst the grass.
Yeah, it's the end of summer, so the grass is pretty tall at this point. It's probably about 2 or 3 feet.
So I would check it out before we head over.
I don't know if it was ominous, or I don't know if it was just curious, or but it was just something that was out of the ordinary. That's for sure.
I would approach whoever is in charge of the caravan. Probably this. Probably the shock guy, and I would approach and I would say that we have a possible activity on the other side of the bridge. So I would not recommend going onto the bridge with the caravan until we have figured out that everything is clear.
So Shock is talking to some guards when you approach him. He looks at you and he looks across the bridge. He says, "What did you see?"
Can you describe Win? And I just gesture Win towards us and I say, Win, can you describe what you saw?
Again, it was very, and I'm doing the best that I can in an honest way. It was just like this red blur, this sort of flash. It was, obviously sort of green grass or gray or yellowy green grass. It's just stood out. It wasn't very tall since the grass is only a few feet tall itself, but where often do you see like a flash of red?
So
this time.
All right, so he looks to one of the guards. He says, "Do we have a scout out?" I'm looking around. The guard just shakes his head. He says, "All right."
Are we all listening?
Yeah, I assume you're all nearby. So Shock would motion to several guards. He says, "Get your bows." And they kind of go and grab some of their short bows. He says, "All right, who saw it? Was that you, Win?"
That was me.
He says, "All right, I'm going to have some archers set up following at a distance. See if you find anything over there. We'll have your back."
I'll go with him.
Yeah, sure, same.
All right, so the whole party's going across the bridge?
Yeah, Win reluctantly is going.
Yeah,
Wynn's like, okay.
Okay, I guess I really do have to do some work on this trip.
So the 6 archers with bows kind of get ready on this side of the bridge with their arrows, and the rest of the group is making their way across the bridge. Is anyone staying behind, or are you all going? All right, I'll assume you're all going. So you get over there. As you approach, give me a perception check.
All of us or one of us?
Anyone who went over. You can all, if you want.
I don't see anything. It's clear, guys.
Minotaur is just looking around. Where
clear over here, guys.
I want to stay next to the caravan, like the second one at the back.
Okay, so Kite stays back with the archers, maybe. So Copper and Win. Win, do you have training in survival?
I have a little bit. I'm not say proficient in it, but I'm not terrible at it.
Okay. So looking around on the ground over here, you do see places where it looks like the grass is bent. Something looks like, and you actually would notice this as well, Copper. It looks like something did move through here, because certain pieces of grass look like they've been stepped on, and there is a bit of a trail.
Yes, over here, everyone. This is the general area, and you can see there. This is where the grass is bent.
I don't know how I missed that.
Well, you were looking in the other direction. It happens.
I'm proficient in survival. Can I do like a check now that I've seen it?
Yeah, now that he's pointed it out, go ahead, give me a survival check. So the Minotaur sort of bends down. There is a bit of a trail that looks like it was made recently. It looks like something fairly small. You would guess something with a booted footprint, because you notice a bit of a small footprint in the mud came through here. It looks like they may have headed off east down the river, whoever it was.
Well, if this thing's gone, I don't know. Do you want to stay here guard while the caravan comes over? Or?
Yeah, guards, do you want to follow it in some way, or do you want us to stay here?
So you kind of motion, and Shock and the guards come over. Shock sees what you're pointing out. He says, we're being watched. Fuck, I knew this was going too well. He turns to the guards. He says, it might be some kind of scout, seeing what our defenses are. And the guard says, it could just be some bandits looking for an easy pick. I mean, if they see how many guards are with us, I don't think they're going to attack. He says, yeah, that's true, but I just have a bad feeling. No, it wouldn't do any good to try to follow this guy down the river, whoever it is. It would just spread our defenses out. I think the best thing we could do now is just keep an eye out and hope whoever it is goes away.
Well, would you like some of us to stay on this side? I think you might want to have some of your crew stay on this side of the bridge so that if anything did go wrong, we weren't ambushed on the bridge.
He says, well, we're not bringing the... Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
He says, we're not bringing the caravans over till the morning because we're camped out. But if you want to stay here and keep an eye out, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Just be careful you don't get ambushed.
No, I think you should leave some of your men here.
Some of the soldiers?
Yeah.
He says, what if...
I don't mind staying on this side.
Give me a persuasion check. Win.
That's persuasive. Yeah.
He says, I don't know if that would... You all are more trained to look out for ambushes. My men might just get picked off by someone with a bow. I'd rather keep them close to the carts.
Perfect. We'll stay here then.
I don't really see any reason for us to spread out. I think if we are resting, we should rest together with the caravan.
Shock. Yeah, Shock nods. He says, there's not much light at night, so if we're all spread out and an attack happens, we'll be scrambling to figure out who got hit. But if any of you are, he lowers his voice, he says, if any of you are good at hiding, maybe if you want to stay in the brush and keep an eye out, that could be useful. Just as an early warning in case they try to come up across the bridge for an ambush.
That's reasonable.
Wynn's already walking the back across.
Wynn's like, I did my job. All right, so he says, all right, well, we should probably just go back to the caravan then. It doesn't sit well with me that we're being watched, though.
Yeah, Wynn is he starts chatting like, I pointed it out, but I do not feel I am not a very sneaky, secretive kind of person, so I don't feel very good to sit out there in the open like that. So I agree with Copper. I'll go back with you.
He's the watch guy. He's not the scout.
Yeah.
All right, so you all just going back across the bridge?
I guess so, yeah.
All right.
Actually, before I go,
yeah.
Before we go, is there anything magical in about the steps or the grass or anything?
You want to cast detect magic?
No, I don't have detect magic anyway. And I just want to see if I notice anything that's like out of the ordinary in the area that like magical wise. I don't have detect magic, then I'm not gonna cast it even if I had it.
I mean, nothing. Well, good. Give me a perception check. See if you get higher than the 19. If you take a quick look around.
Perception again? Oh,
you can also use investigation if you're looking specifically in the area of the bridge.
Nah, 17.
All right, so yeah, you start kind of looking around at the grass and maybe the area under the bridge. So
Any reason to like leave an alarm or something on the side? A couple cans string together, or should we not bother?
do you have a light source? Because it is dark out right now. No, Jorn, while you're investigating.
If I was there and there was none of us had dark any kind of light source, then I would be using like my what's it called, tinkering, to like turn any pebble or anything into like a light source. Yeah.
How
I can I get a 10 feet. 10 feet. Well, 5 feet of bright light and 5 feet of just reduced light. I believe it is.
One question. One question. Is there any, like, except for the bridge, is there any like an obvious choke point which we want to put an alarm onto before going to rest?
Yeah.
Or are we in the middle of the field and any direction can be?
You mean on this side of the bridge?
Yes.
Where you're camped?
We can look. Okay, there is a river, there is a bridge. So obviously there is a choke point on the bridge. On our side, is there any like a couple of roads, for example, or like something that?
There isn't. I mean, the only real choke point would be if someone came across the bridge. Otherwise, like, they could pretty much come from any direction. There's not really. Oh, excuse me. There's not really a good choke point that they would file through.
Sweet.
I can put an alarm on the bridge if you want to.
Shock says maybe on the other side that could come in handy. All right. Why don't you do that?
The entrance to the bridge from the other side. And we will be alarmed if anyone crosses this place within the next 8 hours.
Yeah, that's fine. So, Jorn, you find a small silver button in the grass underneath the bridge from your investigation.
Small silver button? Like, what kind of button?
It looks like it might be a button off someone's shirt or a cloak, yeah. Do you have history?
Yes, I do.
Oh, make a history check. So, interestingly, this button is a design that you have read about that are sometimes employed by dark elves in dark elf clothing. I guess the design, but whatever it would be called, like when you make a button, the tailoring, the designs on the button looks like something that comes from dark elf society, sometimes known as drow.
Cool.
Which is not something you'd find around here often.
Damn drow.
Yeah, how far are we from like known drow?
Gnome drow? You
like,
mean,
do we know any?
Couple of miles above?
Known drow? No, I mean, drow are rare to, you probably have never seen one in your lifetime. You've just read about them.
Fair enough. Well, I'm gonna grab it. And grab and go back as well.
So you take the small silver button, you set up the alarm, and you're waiting throughout the night, yes?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So the night is passing quietly. Give me a d20 roll, please. Someone in the group.
Who's got it?
4. So yeah, it is a quiet night. Your alarm does not go off. If someone else is nearby watching you, they haven't made themselves known, and you didn't see any more movement. So the next day, it is now the 87th, the morning of the 87th, as you are getting ready to move out. And I'm going to pass some time for this last leg of the trip, unless anyone wants to do anything.
How fast is going? How fast is the carriage going?
Very slowly. I mean, it's basically walking speed.
All right. Well, while it's going around, can I like search for herbs or something while we're going?
Yeah,
the
sure.
path, like a bit.
Do you have herbalism or herbalist tools?
Yes,
kit?
I do.
So give me a herbalist check.
Yeah. Herbalist. Actually, no, I only have alchemist at the moment. Sadly, yeah, no, I have I have the what's it
Efficiency, but
called?
not the tool.
Proficiency, but not the tools at the moment.
Oh,
No.
you have proficiency in herbalist tools?
But not yeah, but I do not have
so
tools yet.
Give me do you have a nature proficiency? Nature knowledge?
Nope.
All right. So unfortunately, with just the tools, you probably know how to mix the herbs, but not really how to find them. So you're not really sure what you're looking for.
Fair enough.
Anyone else doing anything during the day?
Does Jorn share that he found the button with everybody?
Did you, Jorn? Did you share your the button?
Discovery?
Did we lose Jorn? Did you go?
Jorn, he's off.
Yellow.
Yeah. Did you share the button knowledge with everyone? Yes.
Yeah. Well, everyone in that's I know of, except not Shock or anyone, not anyone that isn't in the party.
All right. So you shared it with your own group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yes, he would have.
So I would just sort of ask if I could take a look at it before he went off hunting for herbs.
Yeah, sure.
So I would, if anyone was around me, I would be sort of sharing just a little bit I know growing up as within an elf community. Well, maybe you might want to. I would expect or think that I would know some information about drow.
You would know that generally drow only exist within the underneath areas of the world, in the deep, as it's known in this world. You would know that often they are viewed with distrust by the surface dwellers because they have caused a lot of issues for towns with just ambushes sometimes and attacks. But you don't know too much about them, probably stories you were told as a kid.
Loth?
Yeah, you know a little bit about the Spider Queen. Again, more just stories, though, unless you have actual training in history.
No, I would just sort of share that. I would just sort of share, yes, and they worship a Spider Queen that they call Loth. A lot of the warriors tend to be women, and a lot of the casters tend to be women, and most of the men are sort of soldiers, and lots of stories. Now, there could be good drow, but in general, they are known as not so kind to us others and surface dwellers in general.
Yeah, you might know that. You might know that they consider the surface dwellers invaders because they often will come into the deep during the times of the cataclysm. At least that's what your elven parents probably would have told you.
Yeah.
I would really love to research this society.
It's a fascinating society. If we ever get to some place where there are books, maybe you could then teach me more too.
All right, so one last thing, because it's going to be relevant soon. What watches are you all taking? So there are 3 watches. There's the evening, night, and morning, and you can put as many people as you want on each watch. The evening watch is more kind of at the end of the day, so there's some light, so dark vision isn't as important. Night watch is late at night, so it's harder to see, and morning is sort of some light as well, because it's kind of like during the sunrise hours. Who wants to take what watch? I can record it here.
Ryan,
I'll take it.
Do Minotaurs have dark vision?
Nope.
So Win, you are the only one with dark vision in this party, right?
Yeah, so I'll take the night watch, and I have a higher perception too, so I'll take a night.
All right, so I have
I'll take the morning one.
I'll join you, okay? Because I don't have dark vision.
So Win and Copper on night watch. Who's taking morning?
and Yorn.
Fourfold.
So Yorn and Fourfull on morning, and I guess that just leaves Kite for evening.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Looks good. All right. So this final leg of the trip, as you're traveling throughout the day, you cross the bridge and they're getting close to Chaur. It gets to nightfall, and the group is probably about 4 or 5 hours still from Chaur. Shock is not too happy about it, but he says it's probably better we rest than try to push on into the darkness. Keep an eye out, everyone. We're in dangerous territory. Give me insight checks.
Everyone?
Yeah, everyone give me insight checks.
Is this kind of check that you can use guidance on, or just...
Probably not, because it was probably when he just spoke just randomly to you at the end of the day. So, Win and Copper, you might find it sort of a little suspicious that it almost seems like Shock is expecting an attack. Which, as I said, none of you were told that there was any type of added danger, but it almost feels like he's expecting the group is going to be attacked tonight when he's talking to everyone.
So, I perk up at one point and look at Copper and say, "Do you feel something sort of not being said but being said?"
I'll say Kite with a 15. You kind of suspect that as well.
Okay.
It does seem like we are expecting being attacked, but I would also say that it's better being attacked when we are stationary and prepared than when we are on the go. So if we are expecting attack, hopping would be a correct decision.
Can I try to stealthily look around the edges? Because I'm guessing, are we still near a forest?
You're in more open plains at this point, but you certainly can. I don't know if you can. I guess you could stealthily, you mean just walk around the camp?
Yep. Try not to get everyone panicked while still trying to find out if I can see anything.
Yeah, sure. Give me a stealth check. 16. And give me a perception check. Oh, well, there you go.
Damn.
So you're walking around, being pretty quiet, taking a look around as the group is or as the caravan's sort of setting up camp for the evening. You would notice towards the kind of western side, as you're nearby one of the hills, you would see some movement in a bit of the trees off to the west.
Okay.
You only see it for a moment, but you would swear something is moving around over there in the tree line.
Is it coming towards us, or is it just moving around?
No, it was just a quick movement. So it basically, you saw something for a moment, then it was gone, and you might see, the bushes swaying a little.
And, can I cast message on Shock?
Sure, you look back towards camp, you would see Shock is kind of setting up the guards and getting ready for the evening.
I know you were preparing for attack, but I think I've seen movement to the west.
He immediately jumps up as he looks around, trying to figure out who's talking to him.
Okay. I give him a...
He thinks back, is that you, Kite?
Yes. I didn't want to cause an alarm, because you kept it on the down low earlier, but I think they are coming from the west.
He says, "Oh, right, the illusion thing. I forgot. My apologies. What do you see?" And he sort of looks in your direction now. He doesn't see you because you're pretty well hidden, but he's looking to the west.
Movement in the tree line from the west. It doesn't appear to be getting closer, but there is definitely something in there.
All right. So at this point, as Shock is kind of coming over this way, you hear some yells, and from your hidden position, you would see a bunch of orcs coming out of the trees. Shock yells, "Incoming!" And stuff is happening.
Ooh.
So you should see a blank map right now.
Yep.
It is darkness. Well, it's moonlight, so you can see kind of, even if you don't have a light source. Here, let me position you all. So we'll start with Kite, because he was kind of hiding in the hills. I'll say. Oh wait, it's dark out. Hang on, I gotta put the darkness on. Not daylight. I wish there was a setting for like nighttime where you kind of have some sight, but I'll give you 20 feet of sight because of the moonlight. So 10 and well, yeah, I'll do 20 and 20. So 20 and 20 dim, kind of like a torch. And the rest of you, some of you do have dark vision. I'll say Kite is kind of back here. Or wait, sorry, not Kite. I'll say Forful is kind of back here near the... Oh wait, I thought I made you a token. What's going on? So Win...
I remember seeing one.
Yeah, well, I can just use this for now. So the rest of you are kind of back here.
I don't see anything still. Is that just me?
No, that's normal.
Well, I have to give you some vision because it's nighttime.
Sorry. Yeah.
So
I'm here.
I'll give you 20. Copper, you have a lantern, right?
Yep.
Minotaur, I'll give you 20 as well.
The screen is black, correct? Still?
Is this tree big enough to cover vision? Because I think it is now.
Oh, there we go.
So Win, who do I still need? Does anyone not see anything right now?
Looking good.
All right. So if everyone sees something, you would basically hear roars as creatures are approaching from all sides. Let me represent that now. You would see from the north several hobgoblins come running through the trees, engaging some of the guards up there. You would see a couple from the south. You would hear, probably not see actually because of the darkness, you would hear sounds of combat as the creatures pounce upon the guards, who luckily were ready because Kite kind of gave a warning, so they weren't surprised. And the orcs are rushing from the west, as far as you can see, Kite, with battle axes. You see two of them coming from that way, and actually with the lantern, you might see a couple of orcs coming from the other side. So this is kind of the thing that you see right now. Everyone give me initiative rolls. Make sure your token is... Yeah?
One question, like here it is like the only tree which is covering vision. Like the rest of the trees are not blocking vision.
Why is
this
that?
one is...
There, now
okay,
it shouldn't be.
Then it's good.
So make sure your token is selected, then click on initiative in your sheet. I don't know why it's not...
Nice copy roll.
Nice.
What's the modifier there? 1.1.
So it'll have a modifier based on your dex score for tiebreakers. So the point is just like point your dex score, and that's so if you have the same dex, it'll tie break correctly.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Alright, so it looks like I got 4 of you. Who am I still missing?
When I believe you didn't click on your character.
Yeah, if you don't click your token, it doesn't save the initiative.
Oh, you know what? I did click on it, but I didn't. But I had it on ruler, so I'm thinking that I clicked.
Yeah, that'll
big
do it.
Izzy.
Oh, that's even better.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
Alright, so as I said, these orcs are rushing over. Luckily, Kite, you're still well hidden in the hills there. Copper, you were the first to act. You would see there is chaos in the camp as soldiers are yelling. You hear steel clashing as the guards are fighting off the soldiers that are attacking them. You would hear sounds from the south, sounds from the north. I'm not sure if you can actually see what's happening, but you get to act first. What do you want to do?
I'll move towards here and take a dodge action.
Okay. So you move up north, keeping an eye out as you take the dodge action. Next up, Kite. So you're a little bit worried because those orcs are charging in this direction. They haven't seen you yet, so they're not charging towards you, but doing an action might reveal your location. What do you want to do?
So the orcs are charging at me from the west.
They're not charging at you, but they're charging in this direction. You think you're well hidden in the hills right now.
Okay.
Oh, I guess you can't really see them that well, huh? So there's one here in the darkness, and one here. There's 2 of them, kind of at the edge of your vision.
1 second, sorry. I did not. I think I was standing here, so 15. I would move 1. I was not. I'll move 1 here. So I had enough to move towards here.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just wanted to move max.
So yeah, what do you want to do, Kite?
Kind of want to see if I can trick some into being locked off.
So remember, casting a spell will reveal your location from stealth. But
okay.
Yeah, if you want to cast like an illusion, they might be, they might be tricked by whatever you make. But they would see you casting it.
Okay. I want to cast a silent illusion.
Sorry, what are you casting?
A silent illusion.
Silent image?
First
yeah,
level,
silent
right?
image, sorry.
That's fine. Go ahead and link it in the chat. Alright, so you begin to chant as they would see you now. And you cast Silent Image. What are you creating an image of, and where are you putting it?
I want to make I think, like a big wall.
Okay. Where's this wall coming from?
So it can be in a cube. So I wanted to make like a corner wall. How would I mark that?
So there's something in the journal. If you look under, where is it? If you look under, I think resources. There's something called spell effects. You can pull out a 15-foot cube, and that you can use to represent where the illusion is.
Okay.
So just place that wherever you're putting your illusion of a wall.
Sick.
I think I did the wrong.
Yeah, I think it's a cube, right? Yeah. So you want to pull out the cube, not the radius.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where are you putting that? Just around you?
Yeah, so I want to make a big wall this way to
Alright.
dissuade them from.
So you kind of stand up, raise your hands up as you begin to chant, and a large, stone wall you're making?
Yeah.
A large
stone
wall seemingly just springs into being around you. It doesn't make any noise as it does so, but the orcs do look like they kind of take a step back, like, huh? Anything else, Kite?
I do kind of want to move back towards the group.
Alright, so you move out of the stone wall, and that hill is difficult terrain, so if you're moving through that, that's 20 feet right there.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll just stop. Yeah, that's right.
So the guard seems very nervous and also confused with the wall. Also, you're concentrating, right?
I believe so.
Alright, so whenever you concentrate on a spell, make sure you're marked with this. That lets me know that you're concentrating. Alright, so that is it for you. The orcs go. So I'll start with this one. He looks kind of confused by the wall. He yells something in Orcish at the other guy, and he is going to rush this way around the sides. Looks like he's trying to figure out a way in. He's going to interact with it with his intelligence save. He would make it as he kind of realizes his hand can go through it, but that would use his action for this turn, so he just kind of ends his turn there. He would then yell something at the other orc, who also kind of runs up and is like, does anyone speak Orcish?
Ooh, yeah. Un momento, por favor.
Okay. So
no, I speak Goblin. Sorry.
Right. So the other one is confused by the wall. He stops, he examines it, but fails his save, and sort of walks around this way. He would use his dash, or no, he used his action to examine, but he would see Kite. He says, yells something, and uses his aggressive ability to do a bonus action and rush up on you, drawing his great axe, although he cannot attack yet. From this side, this guy sees Copper, and he is going to rush right at you. Wielding his great axe, he swings. You were dodging, right?
Yep.
23 becomes a 16 with disadvantage, and he would just barely miss you. And he yells, "I'll take your head." This one is going to rush up at Copper as well, trying to assist his buddy, and he surrounds you. Getting flank, but still at disadvantage because you are dodging. Another great axe attack. 21 becomes a 17, and 17.
He'll miss.
Okay, that would just miss you. As Copper dodges, he gets kind of clipped by the second attack, but his armor is enough that he takes no damage. Forful, what are you gonna do?
Hey, Copper, does it sound like you need help, or does buddy Kite need more help?
Well, I don't know.
Shock yells, "Help Copper! I have this."
Copy. Okay.
As you yell that out.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Right in the middle of the boys.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna smack one.
Alright, so you rush up to, which one are you smacking? Oh, by the way, I do use flanking rules, so if you stand here, you would have a +2. Or if you stood here.
Okay, so I guess...
I have kind of alternate flanking rules.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, so you get behind that guy, taking him off guard as Copper distracts him, giving you a +2 to your attack. What are you attacking him with exactly?
A battle axe.
Alright. So with an item interaction, you draw your battle axe, which usually you'd use this to mark one-handed weapon, unless you're wielding it. Ooh. Well,
I'm wielding it too, but
yeah, unfortunately, a 6 is a natural 1, and that would not be enough as you stumble a bit.
Great, eh?
He would dodge out of the way. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna stop with that for now.
All right, Jorn. Or Yorn. Are you muted, Yorn?
I am muted. Yay! I keep doing that. Is there any orc that seems like stronger or like the leader or something?
No, but you do see Well, I don't know if you see it actually. Let me see. What do you see?
I do see that one.
So with Copper's lantern in hand, you would see a hobgoblin back here who is armored. It looks like he is pulling out a longbow.
Longbow. I will pull out my shield as an item interaction.
Shield is actually a full action to equip it.
That's a full action.
To don a shield, yes, but I can say
I would say that we have done it already, probably.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say because you had someone yell out that someone might be coming, so sure.
Yeah.
I'll say since Shock kind of gave a warning, you can have your shield and weapons out if you want to mark yourselves with them.
This is shield, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the hobgoblin looks tougher than the regular orcs, or which one looks like?
The orc looks like he's stronger, tougher. The hobgoblin looks like he's better armored.
I am gonna do this you know what? I am going to find a pebble on the floor. Is there any pebble around here, or anything I can catapult?
Yeah, sure. I'll say there's a pebble on the floor if you want to cast catapult.
I will cast catapult in this direction. So if it misses one, go for. Yeah.
All right. Is that a dex save or a spell attack? Or go ahead, just link catapult, I guess.
Yeah, it's. Wait. Oh, the orc showed up on my screen. 1 second. It is a save here.
All right.
So it's DC 13.
All right. So
I will unleash strong air from one of my flasks to propel a rock flying around, trying to hit that orc.
All right. So yeah, you maybe pick up the rock really quick as you chant the gust coming out of your glass vial, right? That's how you said it happened?
Yeah.
Which propels this projectile at amazing speeds. The orc goes as it's flying at him, and he is attempting to dex save. He rolls a natural 1, completely failing, as the rock slams into him at full force.
And here, the damage is...
Oof. It hits him right in the face, and his neck snaps. And he goes down. This guy yells angrily in Orcish and points at Jorn. Caster! And a bunch of people are now looking at you from the enemy team.
Caster? I hardly know her. And that's how I end my turn.
The hobgoblin goes. He is gonna move this way, getting up on the hill, and he is gonna pull out his longbow, as I said, and fire at Yorn. He says, I have him. As an arrow flies towards you. 21 versus AC. Good shot. I assume that hits. Did you mute yourself?
Yeah, 18 is my AC.
Alright, I just want to double check in case you want to use a reaction or anything. So you are struck. An arrow...
I don't have anything at the moment.
Yeah. Arrow hits you in the shoulder, dealing 6 points of piercing damage. And there is now an arrow sticking out of you. He gets ready to fire again, but that's it for him. Win.
Seeing that this person or this hobgoblin in this heavy armor has climbed up on this hill and let loose an arrow, sort of at the same time as I see that, I'll rush forward 30.
Okay.
And I will use my booming blade. Let me just... Come on, sheep.
Alright, so you rush at him, swinging your blade wreathed in thunder energy. 11. No, with his heavy armor, he easily jumps back, dodging the attack. And he yells, assist me! Anything else?
As a bonus action, I will... Let me just double check the distance on this. Cast Shield of Faith on Yorn.
Alright, so you point over at Yorn as magic leaves your hand, enveloping him. Yorn, you gain +2 to your AC, and you are now concentrating when. Mark yourself as such.
Yorn is a new tank now.
Yeah, our 2 wizards are like the
at
tanks.
Second level. Yeah, 20 AC at second level. Can't complain.
So yeah, mark yourself as concentrating when. And
I'm just trying to remember concentrating, so I was going to do this one.
Concentrating is this one. It's at the very bottom. It's grabbing.
It's
the guy grabbing his head.
I got it. There we go.
Okay.
Double concentration. Oh.
So next up is you're done, right, Win?
Yep, that's me.
All right. So Shock goes. He says, "Oh fuck, they're everywhere." He is gonna rush south and say, "I have your back, wizard." As he gets to here, trying to put himself between the other orc and you, and he is going to lunge at this guy, stabbing. It says, "Die, you asshole." He does an attack with his longsword. Ooh, 24.
Nice.
That would strike as he stabs the orc. Oh! He stumbles back, doing 4 points of damage. Not the best hit. But the orc is now looking angrily at him. "I'll kill you." So that is it for Shock. He's got his shield and his longsword out. Next up is the guards who are fighting for their lives. So this one here, to the north, you hear a cry and he goes down. Oh!
Oh.
You hear some fighting to the south too, more yells. Though no one else, as far as you can see, I think, dies. This guard is going to yell, "There's more below us," and he's going to run south with a dash, going to engage the attackers. This one here is going to run as well, engaging them. This one here is going to run up to this orc, yelling. This guy is freaking out. He is standing there looking around. He says, I can't die here, and he takes the dodge action. That is it for them. Copper, top of the round.
I turn toward this orc, look at him, and I say, "You are of a lower threat level. Turn around and cast magic missile at this guy."
Alright, so keeping an eye on that one, you chant, drawing a sigil in the air. Go ahead.
And since I am a clockwork soul, so usually all of my casts are kind of centered around different like cogs and cheers, and so this would likely be some kind of like high, like ball bearings and jeers flying at him.
Alright, so several metal pieces fly out of you at him? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say maybe like force, like something shaped as a metal and gears and cogs.
Right. So maybe some spectral gears fly through the air. Go ahead and roll your roll magic missile. Well, give me the description and the damage roll. All right, 4. Nice. So he is riddled with force cogs, taking 12 points of damage. Ugh, and he goes down. Anything else?
And I move towards here.
Alright, you circle around that guy. Kite, what are you going to do? You hear a bunch of battling going on all over the place. And this guy looks like he's getting ready to attack Shock now, no longer interested in you.
Okay. You kind of need to move away.
What are you going to do? What are you thinking?
Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking, I don't know whether I should attack or run away. It's the...
Okay.
That is the question.
It is, isn't it? Okay, I think I'm going to cast a chromatic orb at the orc in front of me.
Alright, so I think that is a ranged attack. I believe if you do that, it would be at disadvantage, because he is right next to you.
Yeah.
You can still do it, it would just be a much lower chance of hitting.
Also, it kind of requires a very costly component.
Do you have something, or do you want to do that, or do you want to try to do something else? What do you think?
I'm thinking I might be able to move the wall as well. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my action to move my illusionary wall.
Where are you moving it to?
Up.
Alright, so you kind of move your hands as your wall sort of moves along the ground and now is encasing the three of you. This one yells, "It's not real, you can go through it!" And this one says, "It looks real though." I guess that's an orcish, so you don't know what they're saying. Anything else, Kite?
No, I think that's all I can do. But can he attack me if I run away now?
You would technically be invisible to him because of the wall, so you could move away without getting an oppie.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do that then.
Okay. So you back up 5, 10, 15, 20. Remember, every second diagonal is an extra 5 feet. So you move to there. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Alright, so the orcs go. This guy yells at Kite. He says, "Enough with your illusions." And he runs over this way using aggressive to close ground with you. And he is going to swing. So, Great Axe. 19 versus...
my reaction for shield.
Well, he rolled a 19 versus AC. Do you still want a shield?
Yeah. Nope, that's it, yep.
Yeah, so that would connect. Shield would not be able to save you. Luckily, he only does 5 slashing, so it's not the best hit.
Okay, and then I have to roll concentration.
Yep, D20, roll a con save, DC 10. To see if you can hold your illusion.
Let me just do that, sorry.
Oh, I think I touched it by accident.
Oh, yeah, it should be here. So you would make your con save, you would hold your spell. You only took 5 points of damage, so you should be at 7, not 4.
Yep.
Alright, so this orc down here is going to be confused by the wall. He is going to once again try to make an int save to see through it. Int save. No, he would fail as he's kind of... "Are you sure this is not real?" as he's like trying to interact with it to figure out what's going on. Foreful. Or wait, no. This orc over here, he saw Copper cast Magic Missile, and he is going to try to attack you with his Great Axe. Oh, well, that was a terrible roll. Nope, you're okay for now.
I'm not dodging, sorry. Forgot to take it away.
Oh yeah, you're not dodging yet. No, I knew that. From the back, kind of from back here, you hear some more yells. And it looks like more orcs join the fray. 2 more come running in. Looks like they came from the south. Maybe they were a little farther behind the main group. But that is it for them. Foreful, what do you want to do?
Sweet. I'm gonna go right for these guys who just came in.
What's your movement?
It's 30. Does the ruler said 30?
So the ruler, hang on, I gotta fix it because it's actually not correct right now. It's not taking into account diagonals. Try now.
Guys,
so try measuring now, it should be correct.
Yeah.
So they are a little farther, so I don't know if you can get to them. There is still one here that's swinging at Copper.
That's okay. I'm going to go for the 2 there. I'm going to dash to him.
Okay.
And then I can use Goring Rush. So I'll go right in between them.
Go ahead and link Goring Rush.
This one.
All right, after you use dash, 1 melee. Okay, so so you use your bonus action. Which one are you going for?
We'll go the one south of me.
All right, so as you rush up, you roar as your horns go at him. Go ahead, give me an attack roll. Ooh, 11. That is very close, but not enough. So he sees you coming and sort of sidesteps as your horn just barely misses him. He is getting ready to.
And I guess.
Yeah.
For now, because I'm kind of in the middle, can I action surge?
You can.
I haven't used my bonus yet, So I'll do that.
Wait. You use your bonus action on the Goring Rush, I believe. Right?
Didn't say anything about being a bonus action.
It says
with your horns as a bonus action.
As a bonus action.
Yeah. So is action surge a bonus action, or is that just an extra attack? I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just an extra attack, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Sorry, it's not a bonus action.
Yeah, so
I can also maybe take a bonus action. Okay, my bad. So I'll do that.
All right, so you roar, taking another swing as you action surge. Same guy?
Yeah, we'll go same guy.
All right. Jeez, all right. You're just not having... Unlucky today.
Unfucking lucky.
All right, so unfortunately, you go in for another swing, but he brings his axe up, and there's a loud clang as he parries your axe. Anything else?
That is all I can do.
All right, Yorn, what do you want to do?
It's me.
It's
okay,
you.
So
you see
1, 2, 3. Wait, for some reason, that's where the wall is now, yeah?
No, that's the carriage. So you can't see through the carriages right now.
Can I walk into this? Can I walk through this space or not?
You have to go around it, unless you're trying to climb up into the carriage, but that would be difficult terrain. Because it's got the cloth over it.
Fair enough. In that case, because I'm just trying to see what's going on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, I still can't see shit. Too many caravans on that side. I will just shoot from here then while I look around and I can't see shit. A firebolt from one of my vials.
Alright, so he would be getting cover from your guard ally here. But
that's
you can.
Fine.
Alright, so you chant summoning magical fire energy from one of your potion vials. Go ahead, give me an attack roll.
Yes. Let me put enhanced focus because that's one of my things. 21 to hit.
Nice roll. So that would indeed strike. Unfortunately, it looks like Firebolt doesn't have the cantrip set up yet, but he takes 4 points of burning. As he is suddenly... doesn't look like it's a description, but you can put it in later. So he is burned.
Sorry. Whom did we hit? No.
He burned this guy.
One next to
Got it.
He turns angrily towards you and yells something in Orcish. Anything else?
I'm gonna start moving towards this way to see how bad the thing is.
Okay.
So I moved there. Yeah, okay, no, for now I'm just staying here.
Alright, the hobgoblins go. Which there's only one of that you can see. He is going to... He killed his buddy. He's not too happy about that. He's going to take aim at Copper with his bow. He pulls out his bow. And take a shot at you. Longbow. Natural 1. Alright, so the arrow sticks in the tree here. He curses. He is then going to move around the carriage this way.
You bastard.
But by take aim, did you just say so, or did he use some kind of ability?
No, he just fired. It was just
okay.
fluff. Win. Bottom of the round. What are you going to do?
So I saw that, so I'm going to try to pursue after him.
Okay, so that's 10, 15.
And then I can see him now over here.
Yep.
And I will cast Toll the Dead. Because I imagine it can't be that wise.
Alright, so you point at him chanting as he is bathed in necrotic energy. He is going to try to resist. 7, no, he would fail. So give me a d8 damage.
Fuck him up.
Why didn't I? /1d8.
Alright, so he takes 4 points of necrotic as he is withered by your spell. And he would yell, "Kill the fucking casters already!" And that is it for you.
That is it for me.
Alright, so Shock unfortunately can't see in this wall. He's going to say, what is this? He's going to make an int save using his action to try to figure out what's going on here. He is going to fail, and he's going to kind of step through it and see the orc, but unfortunately he already used his action. This guy keeps crapping his pants and he dodges for his turn. This guy is going to actually get a pretty good hit on him. Stabbing him for 3. The spear wounding this guy. And the fighting continues down south. You hear some death cries as several of the guards are slain. That is it for the guards. Copper, what are you going to do?
Let me see. I will move towards here. Is this orc wearing any armor?
He's got hide.
And that's some battle music. Very battle-y music.
Okay, but then I will just attack him with a shocking grasp.
Alright, so you lunge at him, grabbing.
And all my internal circuits and batteries go online. And I will do...
You do have flank, so +2. Oh yeah, 25 would strike as he is zapped with magical energy, taking 8 points of damage. He looks badly wounded, and he cannot take his reaction. Anything else?
And after that... I would probably... So this was 5. I would probably move towards here.
Alright, he cannot oppy because you shocked him. He's like, ugh. So you quickly run away, seeing your Minotaur friend engaging those two. Kite.
Same problem, different turn.
What are you gonna do?
The fact he isn't falling for my illusion is quite annoying. I can't just run away again.
He looks like he's about to swing at you again. He's getting ready to attack again.
I think I'm going to try and keep running away.
Alright, do you want to disengage or just flat out run?
I'll disengage so he doesn't get an opportunity to attack.
Alright, so you quickly move away. Go ahead and move. Using your action.
This would be 10, right?
5. Every second diagonal is an extra 5 feet.
Second. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Alright, so that's 10 feet, 15. And when you pick up, or that's 25.
Yeah, and I just kind of want to hide behind the carrot so he stops chasing me.
All right. Do you want to move down another one, or just is that where you're stopping?
Yeah, I'll stay here.
All right. So the orcs go. This one sees Shock step out, and he's kind of surprised, but swings at him. Great axe. 15 would not be enough, and Shock blocks with his shield. This guy sees you running around the carriage. He's going to try to anticipate where you're going.
No.
So,
Sorry, my cat.
So he comes this way, sees Jorn, and roars angrily, swinging at you. Roar!
Alright.
Great axe coming at you. Ooh, 12. Alright, so you dodge sideways, getting your shield in the way as there's a loud clang. This guy here is going to gain back his reaction. He is actually going to go for your soldier this time, as the soldier stabbed him a little last turn. He is not happy about that. I thought he did.
I thought Jorn shot him with the firebolt.
Jorn did as well.
Yeah, that was me.
He did.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong soldier. He's going to attack him anyway, because he can't get to copper easily. So, great axe. 18, I believe, would strike. Doing 9 slashing, and this guy is badly injured. Ah! Help! I can't die here, he yells. That's it for that guy. These orcs are going to... First, this one goes for the Minotaur. Swinging his great axe. What's your AC?
11.
Alright, so he would connect. 21 versus AC strikes you for 11 slashing, cutting you. This guy is going to step here, getting the flank, and swing at you as well. Oh, natural 1. That was a terrible roll. Luckily, you jump back, but Forful is looking wounded from that first attack. When you get below half health, you want to put the heart on you just so people know what your HP is at. But that's it for the orcs, I believe. Forful, what are you going to do?
Well, I didn't like that too much.
Hopefully the dice gods start to favor you now.
Let's hope something like that. So we'll start by just smacking the guy between Copper and I.
Alright, this guy?
We'll do that.
Alright, so you take a swing
Let's go for a hit.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Yo!
24. Solid
19.
hit.
First one.
So give me a... If you click on Battle Axe in the chat, it should do damage. Oof. 12.
Yo!
Nice
That
roll. So he is taken...
Sorry.
Huh?
Sorry. Go on.
Oh, he's... Yeah, he's kind of taken by surprise as you swing upward, cutting into him. He falls over, dead. Anything else?
Yeah, I'll use a second wind.
Alright, so you spend the bonus
To get them
action.
both back.
Give me a d10. Alright, so you regain 6.
That's my level. So then this is plus my fighter level, so 2, right? So
Yeah,
8?
so 8 points. And you are no longer wounded, feeling much better as you take a quick breath.
The bloodlust. Yes.
Oh, and if you all want to describe your own stuff, just let me know. I'm kind of doing it by default.
No, it's good. You're doing
Great job.
Alright,
Yeah.
Jorn, what do you want to do?
I have medicine. Can I see how badly wounded the soldier is?
Yeah, sure. He is at 2 hit points.
I'd rather have not more people dying. So, okay. Wait 1 second, I need to relaunch Roll20 because, you know, Roll20 being Roll20.
Roll 20. You casting Cure Wounds or something? Or Healing Word?
I might. Cure. I think I have Cure Wounds. I don't think I have Healing Word with Artificer, at least
No,
for now, unless I take some kind of...
So unfortunately, Cure Wounds does require touch.
It does, it does. I know. Come on, the game missed me, but like 1d8
No.
plus 3, would that help him very much? Do I
You
know
would take an OP.
how many health? Yeah.
Well, you
Probably
just.
help him, yeah.
I mean, I know
he took 9 damage. You saw him get hit.
so he would I'd almost like heal him well. I don't know. I am just, you know what, instead of worrying about him getting it, I'm just gonna try. Can I hit the orc from here?
What are you casting?
Or a spell? Like, either, I mean, does it have any kind of protection in general? Or
I think this
because I was gonna
orc
cast a
actually
DC
was hit
spell.
twice at least.
It has cover from your soldier, but other than that, it doesn't have any obvious protection. If you're using a ranged attack. Also, if you're using a ranged attack, it would be a disadvantage because you have an orc right next to you.
Oh yeah, because true, I have disadvantage because of this guy.
Yep.
Okay, I moved here to see better. Is there a way? Because I might just cast Tasha's. Could I squeeze somehow onto this thing or?
So if you want to jump up
here.
into the wagon, that would be difficult terrain, but you can jump up in there if you want. He would get nappy if you left his threatened area, though.
I want to be right here.
All right, so
like this is the zone I want to be.
So you jump up onto the wagon.
Yeah, I lose vision though, like there. Is that fine?
You can still see south though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are you trying to do now?
Because I peeked over here, and I saw an enemy. So I want to cast Tasha's Caustic Brew from here, hitting the two that I, like, this one, and I think like, right now I can't see it.
So like a ray?
I saw one of it. Yeah, a line of just...
So like this?
Nasty stuff from one... like this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that, but
well,
like this.
Yeah, so you don't want to hit shock.
Yeah.
Go ahead and link the spell. I think that's what, a dex save?
Here is... is it dex or is it con? Let me check. I'll just... But it is a
go ahead
save.
And link the spell. So dex save. Alright, so you jump up on there as you kind of pull one of your cork off your vial and a bunch of acid sprays through those two. So they get dex saves. The first one.
Yep.
Dexterity save rolls a 17, so I believe he made it.
Yeah, DC 13.
Second one would roll a 9, so he would fail, and he is covered in acid. Oh!
Yeah.
That's concentration, so go ahead and mark yourself as concentrating.
Oui, chef. 1 second. I was holding the ruler.
Yeah, that's fine. Anything else from up there?
From up there? No, that's it. I'm just gonna go back here. That's it. I'm gonna go. It's just because I didn't want to hit the guy.
Oh yeah, I see. So you kind of sprayed around the corner there. The hobgoblin goes. Yeah. He is going to be very pissed at the guard. He's going to drop his bow as a free action, draw his sword, and attack as a two-handed sword attack. I have the macro, might as well roll it. 14, unfortunately, would hit the guard, dealing 8 slashing. Ah! And the guard looks wounded. Says, I need help over here! The other hobgoblin is dead. So, Win, what are you doing?
I'm going to move 10 feet to there. Then I'm going to move 5. What's that?
I said, yeah.
5, 10, 15 to there. I'm going to quickly scan behind me to the north to see if I see anything else coming at us.
So you see more fighting going on in the north part of the caravan, because remember, this is the middle part. But no orcs or no enemies are coming towards you right now.
Rushing at me. So if I don't see anything rushing at me, I will then point my finger again, and you hear a dolorous bell fill the air as I target the hobgoblin.
Dong.
Right here.
Alright, so he must make a wisdom save. Bong. He would fail.
Alright, this time he'll take a G12.
He sure would.
Oh. Come on. 12. Halfway there.
He is withered by necrotic energies, and his gaunt corpse falls to the ground. Guard yells, "Oh shit! Thank you. I owe you, friend."
The fight's not over yet.
Breathing hard. Anything else?
If I have 5 feet more movement, I'd probably just move right to there.
Okay.
And that's it.
Shock goes. He yells, you bastard, and he yells at the guard in the wall, "Get back in the fight! We need you!" as he swings at this guy. 18 would be a solid hit, slashing him for 8, and the orc looks pretty wounded by that. Oh! Guard allies go. This guy is going to continue to cower, I think. Yeah, he's cowering. This guy is actually going to take the defensive action because he is hurt and does not want to die. This guy here is also very hurt, so he's going to take defensive, yelling for help. You hear more fighting to the south, and another guard sounds like he went down. Oh, that's it for the guards. Copper. Well, actually, we are pretty close to 2. Do we want to call it here and pick it up next week, or are we good to do one more round?
I'm good with
one more round, maybe.
Yeah.
Since we...
I'm sure one round will be over.
Round, yeah.
Alright, so Copper, what are you doing?
I will cast magic missiles. 1 onto this guy.
Okay.
2 onto this guy.
Alright, so you spread the damage out, firing 1 and 2. Go ahead, give me the damage roll. Let's see if you drop him. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, good roll. So this guy gets a magic missile right through the face. He goes down. This one takes 8 points of damage and would look wounded. Oh!
And then I will move towards here to provide flanking for Fortful.
Alright, so you get behind Fortful, giving him some flank. Kite, luckily you were not followed by the orc. What do you want to do?
Yep. I'm going to move down. 1, 2.
Oh, there he is.
3, 4.
Howdy.
Yeah. And I am going to cast a firebolt at this orc.
This one?
Yep.
Alright, so you point, chanting, as a bolt of flame flies from your hand. He does have some cover from Yorn, but go ahead, give me an attack roll.
Yeah. I am covered.
Oh, crit!
Yo!
Go ahead and give me a damage roll.
Go!
Here we go. Let's go.
No. Press the...
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, 19!
Yo!
You burn right through his face. He goes, his bone is exposed and falls down crackling. Anything else? Kite was tired of his bullshit.
Yeah, getting chased for 2 high rounds. It's not very fun. No, I think this seems like a pretty...
Man.
Alright, so you end your turn. The orcs go. Now this one starts, he takes damage, right? Because he was acided.
84.
Go ahead, give me a damage roll.
Alright. R/R 2d4.
Alright, so as the acid burns him, he cries out, falling over from the pain, and he is melted. This guy... He did not like Forful killing his friend, so he's going to roar and swing at Forful with his great axe.
I didn't like that.
22, oof. So he would indeed get a slash on you, dealing 7... Yeah, you didn't like that. 7 points of damage, which actually you're still looking pretty good, because you're over half health. And he would growl menacingly at you, but that's all he can do. Juggling their heads. Forful, what are you going to do? You do have flank on him, because Copper is... on the other side.
Juggle his head, so I'm gonna turn around to this guy. gonna try sinking my axe into his head now.
All right. So you turn around, slashing at him. Trying to... Oh, 19 would definitely strike as you land a nasty blow. Go ahead and give me a damage roll. All right. Oh, so he takes 9, stumbling back, looking badly wounded, but he is still up. Anything else?
Finish him off, Copper. No, I'm good. I think that's all I can do.
All right, Yorn.
Do I hear? Because I can't see much. Do I hear any battling going on like around me? Because from this, from where I am, I can't see jack.
You hear fighting from a couple places here. You would also hear fighting from down south, and you would hear fighting from up north.
I'm gonna start working down south. Can I go through this tiny hill?
The hill is difficult terrain, so just that square would be difficult terrain.
20. 25. I still not see shit.
No.
Curiosity, out of curiosity. Is this by any chance the one that like we had suspicions about? The caravan itself?
That one is in the south section, which is off the battle mat.
Okay, this is the last movement I can take. Yeah, I can't say shit anywhere, so I am just gonna cast guidance on myself as my action.
So you cast guidance. Just FYI, I think you're concentrating on an ability, right?
I'm not anymore. The only one that was touching it is dead, so...
Okay, so...
I would have dropped concentration.
So you're now concentrating on guidance. Okay, got it. The hobgoblins, I think, are all dead. So for now they are... Oh, no, they're not. That's right. So this guy comes running up from the south. He would see Yorn. Oh, wait, he would see you back here. So an arrow is going to come flying at Yorn at advantage, because you can't see him right now, because he has dark vision. So something shot at you from out of your sight in the dark to the south. 4 becomes an 11 with advantage, and you would jump to the side as an arrow hits the wagon behind you. Zoop.
1, but not 2.
Yeah, just one shot.
One shot? No, but I mean, like, come on, I got hit by an arrow once. Not gonna happen again.
Well, it could. You just didn't roll very well. Win, what are you doing? Bottom of the round.
All right, so I'm going to run forward.
Yep.
Or say run south. I'm going to run south because I can't see anything up here. 5, 10, 15. Just running along the card here. 25, 30. Crap. All I see are dead things everywhere. I'll go... Yeah, I don't... So from where I am, I'm just going to... prepare. I'm going to ready an action of Toll the Dead if I see any hobgoblin orc in range.
Quick warning, because you're low level, I'll still be nice. If you prepare a spell, you will start concentrating on it, which will end the concentration you're currently doing.
That's fine.
All right. So who was it that was getting...
Which is armor for...
Yorn. I believe.
Yeah.
So Yorn, you would lose your magic that's on you, so your AC goes down.
Only 18. What a shame.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you can now mark yourself as concentrating Win, as you are now concentrating on this new spell.
Yes, waiting for something to happen.
Do you have a shield or weapon out?
I do. I have a shield out.
All right, so mark yourself as having a shield, because it doesn't say it right now. That would be...
What's your mark for
this
shield?
That's that one.
Yep, I got you now.
All right, so to the NPC, Shock goes. He is going to hear the arrows being fired to the south, run down this way. He says, Yorn, are you okay? What's going on? As he looks around for an attacker.
I'm just gonna point south and be like, somebody just shot me from there. Don't know where, though.
He nods. He continues south, and he is going to take the dodge action. He says, I don't see him. He's in the shadows somewhere. As he readies for an incoming attack. Let's see, the guards. This guy is going to run back here. He's going to say, I'm sorry, I can't. And he's going to keep dodging. This guy says, you fucking coward. And he runs around him, is dodging as well. He says, where's the enemy? He yells to Win.
I have no idea. I can't see anything at this time.
This one here is going to retreat for now as well because he's also wounded. He's going to hop up in the wagon here. And you're not sure where he went. And I think that's it for them, which would take us into a new round. And this might be a good place to call it for this week as we continue the battle next week. There's still a bunch of fighting going on from the northern and southern sides of the caravan. But usually at the end of the game, I do something called an MVP vote, which is everyone sends me a whisper and roll 20 with who they think was MVP for the session. And you can't vote for yourselves. Whoever wins that gets an inspiration point to spend next time. Just to let you all know, you all start with 1 inspiration point. So just mark that somewhere in your sheet.
Yeah.
All right, I got 1 vote for MVP. 2 votes.
Whisper to the DM.
Yeah, if you don't know what the command is, I will show you. It looks like that.
Slash.
You can use DM or GM, it's the same. So I think I still need 2 more votes.
I just sent mine.
Alright, I got 4 votes. I think I know who the winner is going to be, but let's see who the 5th vote is, because it could be a tie. No, with 3 votes, Copper, you are MVP. Congrats.
Very much.
Any comments on the game? Since it's the first game for everyone, did everyone have fun?
Sorry, didn't mean. That was a good time. Good, well done. You handled it well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and welcome to the group for our new players. Yeah, if you have any questions or comments outside game, just send me a whisper in the Discord, and I'll see you all next week.
See you next week.
There, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care, everyone. See you then.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm going to take a bunch of notes, so I'll be here if anyone wants to talk.
Ciao.
I did not have a chance to get some of the new information. Let's see. Make sure I have everyone's character names down.
Yeah. Maybe turn off the screen, the stream, in case we start talking politics again.
All right. Yeah, everyone on the stream, hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Feel free to follow me and subscribe and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you all next week.